Hola, mi gente. How are you on this Friday night? Welcome to Freaky Friday, you little freaks. You little freaks. How are you this evening? Good to see you. We made it. We made it another week. It is Friday. But you know how I feel? Monday should feel like Friday. And if your Monday doesn't feel like your Friday, you're doing something wrong in life. You're doing something wrong, okay? There's no reason why you should be brainwashed to hate Mondays and love Fridays. You got to check yourself. Check yourself. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to see you here on this Friday night. Let's hang out. Let's chill. It's early. It's early. On both coasts, it's early for a Friday night. You know who I am. On the block with Jen on all social media platforms, not just YouTube, okay? YouTube's bad girl, and your favorite devil's advocate. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy you scrolled across me. You're gonna like it here. Yeah, I'm really this cute, like in person. No filter. Like, yeah, this is me. Hi, darling. Hi. The good thing about this channel is we have the most diverse, well-versed, okay, realist, open panel you could ever find on YouTube, okay? And it's always something different every single week. I have a very diverse panel. You don't see that on YouTube. We're not all the way left, we're not all the way right. Sometimes we're not even in the middle. We disagree a lot, but we end in love, and that's a good thing. So I hope you guys have watched us and we've showed you that you could disagree with someone, right? Getting all kinds of verbal fisticuffs, and yet you just end in love, because here we understand I don't have to agree with everything you do to like you, okay? And you guys know social media is conditioning people to think if you don't agree with someone, you got to throw them all out, right? Like, oh, you don't agree with, I like Trump and you don't, I can't talk to you, right? So hopefully we're teaching that here on the block. And I like running it like a real block. There's a block. I grew up in the Bronx, in the South Bronx. And as you know, it's a true melting pot. We'll have Ak at the bodega. We got the Indian neighbors, the Mexican neighbors, the Puerto Rican neighbors, the Black neighbors, and we're all in the same apartment building. Because all of us together, that's the rent we can pay, right? In the Bronx. So it's a melting pot. And I like running on the block with Jen like that. So I'm glad that you pulled up and you're going to hang out tonight. Tonight is Friday, so it's always Freaky Friday on Fridays, okay? The rest of the week is a lot of topics that are trending. I touch on them a little bit on Fridays, but it's mostly Freaky Friday. And tonight's topic is going to be, are they never in the mood or just not into you? Because you know there's a difference. Now, maybe some of you ladies tell your girlfriends, he don't be in the mood. He's never in the mood like he used to be. Maybe he's not into you anymore. Maybe he's not into your style of sex. Same thing with the women, right? Men complain, she's not in the mood. We used to do it all the time in the beginning. She's not in the mood. She always has a headache. Well, I don't know, fellas. If I promised you the time of your life and you knew you were going to get the time of your life every time you were with me, would you ever turn me down? Absolutely not. You'd have to be a crazy human to turn down a good time that you know is guaranteed to be a good time, right? So maybe your spouse or significant other or your lady knows it's not going to be a good time. It's just not worth getting sticky and dirty in your panties and sweating up the sheets and messing up her hair when she has to go to work tomorrow. It's just not worth it. Now, if I told you once you finish running up this mountain, I got $1 million for you. You're going to go up, you're going to mess up your hair, your clothes, you're going to get sweaty, you're going to get dirty, because you know at the top of the mountain is going to be $1 million, right? You're not going to care about any of that stuff. So maybe they're just not into you. Has society shamed women into having bad sex? What do you mean, Jen? I'll dissect, but I'll bring my fellas up first. So welcome. Hang out, guys. Karan Marco, how are you, darling?
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'? You see, I got the lights off in here today. I'm like, it's Friday night. I can't have
Yeah,
all
I
them
noticed that.
lights. Can't have all the lights on me tonight. I'm like, just in a minute, I'm gonna throw the glasses on so the glare don't get me. But for right now, I'm vibing. I see you sporty tonight. You wasn't taking a chance tonight, huh?
Nah, I just wasn't really taking a chance. I mean, last night was like everybody was just chilling.
You
I'm in my
never know.
church clothes.
That's the thing. It's just like the block. You never
Like,
know what we're gonna have on. Okay, but it's Freaky Friday. We can't get a little neck from you. We can't get a little. Oh, pause. I said that out loud.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
All right, let me get off you from it. Let me bring up No Saint. Hi, No Saint. What are we sipping on?
You're muted. You're muted.
We can't hear you,
Let me tell
darling.
you something. You like wine, right, Jen?
I like white wine. I don't do the reds.
Okay, this is a Pinot Noir.
Okay.
This right here, I'm telling you right now, it's
It's good.
It's $18 a bottle,
Uh-huh.
but it is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. White wine, that's okay. White wine's
I
okay.
do white wine. Listen, you have to understand, No Saint. I come from a history where I used to drink vodka straight, Patron straight, 40 ounces, 40 ounces of beer, like doing contests with my girlfriend, see who could finish the whole 40 ounce first. I used to drink vodka and eat barbecue. So now I'm like, when I'm in a restaurant, I'm like, I'll have a glass of white, please.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
come a long way.
and it depends on what your meal is too. I mean, it's supposed to be red wine. It's supposed to go with like beef and stuff like that. But
Oh, okay. See, I'm
yeah,
not. I know people are real fancy about their palate, and the oil and the legs, and I'm just like,
well,
give me a glass of white
it's,
because it's fruity and it'll get me tipsy, and I'll be well oiled for later. So.
well, I'll tell you what. I didn't really discover it. I was at my aunt and her husband brought it out, and I didn't even know what it was, and I tasted it. I was like, holy! I said, what is this? And he told me where to get it. And he told me, it's. And I was like, God, man, it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah.
So that $18 bottle don't owe you nothing.
No. I'm a little depressed that I'm running out.
Hello, George Cacao, you said. El bribón picante. What is this?
Yeah.
Where did our George go? Is this your Freaky Friday name? Friday name?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take it. We will take it.
Rascal. Yeah.
We will take it. So, gentlemen, good to see you here. Lily is tied up with a client, but she said she's going to try her best to make it. So I let her know what we're talking about tonight. So maybe she'll make it. We'll see. We will relax. No Saint. Missed you yesterday. George, I know you were hanging out in the chat, which was cool. No Saint. Someone in the chat was asking for you. They was like, where's my cracker, No Saint? And I was like, apparently he's too busy for us tonight. So check back tomorrow. But see, people were checking for you, No Saint. People noticed your absence. Okay.
I appreciate that.
So how are you guys? Did you hear that Kanye West, and here's the thing, this is why I don't want to get into it for a long time, because I haven't seen any legitimate news sources, confirm this, but rumor has it that Kanye West is in negotiations with Adidas to get him back on just so they can push out that, $250 million worth of merchandise, or 520 million, something like that. Supposedly, allegedly in negotiations to push that the materials out that were left behind in factories once they severed ties with Kanye, and the internet's running wild like, yeah, see, they need Kanye, but I don't really want to confirm it, right, until it's confirmed. And I know Adidas usually they release some sort of statement, as they go along, and I haven't seen that from Adidas yet, so I'm just kind of like, so do you
if he actually jumps on board, it's really an L. That's really an L for him.
How so? Do you think they're making him kiss the Adidas ring?
Yeah, because I thought he didn't need them. This was a part of the agenda for him to sell his own shit. So why is he? Why make the deal? Just do it yourself.
Right.
That dude would be like, I'm not. If I'm the dude,
right.
I don't care. I don't care what you got in the warehouse, man. I give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because guess what? Whatever deal you give me, I'm going to be able to make more. Apparently, allegedly.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I just cut you out completely. So if I get back in bed with you, that means I need your money. You know what I mean? So that's not really a win, folks, and it just goes to show you that a lot of motherfuckers really don't know business. They don't know
Not only
negotiation.
not only not know business, but I think also it's kind of like a cold bucket of water in your face. Like, you do need these people
Yeah,
still, right?
Well,
like I talk my shit about white people and shit like that, but at some point in time, somebody white got to cut a check for me. So, I ain't that mad at them.
Mhm.
I have my issues. You know what I mean? But so, there comes a time when it's like, hey, Bob, I'm gonna need you to sign. I'm
Right,
personally,
right.
you're still white, but I'm gonna need you to sign.
What do
maybe
you
they're
think,
making it worth
George?
his while. Maybe
You
they're
know what I
making
mean?
it worth his while to come back and put his name on that brand in order to push that stuff out. It could be
But the
like
thing
Haran
is,
saying, but
But the thing is, George, I understand what you're saying, but the ongoing, word around on the street was in our community was that
Right.
this was a part of his plan
It was a
to
master
take his
plan.
wares, his master plan to take his wares and go on his own
Yeah,
and
it
become a
was.
billionaire all over again and all this other wild shit, all
Hmm.
kinds of crazy Star Wars shit, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Those motherfuckers were thinking. So I'm just like, well, why do you need to do this if you're capable of doing
right.
that?
Yeah.
That is correct, because the word out on the streets was that he was purposely saying and doing what he was doing so he can get out of those contracts on purpose, so he can go on and be fruitful and be a billionaire on his own. That was the rumor. It was all part of his master plan to lose billions within 48 hours. And then he went shopping to like Balenciaga and was buying Adidas clothes and then taking the logo off, and he vowed to sell, the clothes that he collabed with Balenciaga, and everybody was going to buy it, and he put a yay whatever year he thinks he's running for president again, he put that instead on the clothes, but it didn't sell. Nobody cared, right? Nobody cared past the hoopla of talking about him on the internet. And it's funny because people are already speaking about this, though it has not been confirmed by Adidas. People are already talking about this like it's some sort of win or a gotcha. You know what I mean? For Kanye, they don't understand. I don't understand how people don't understand what $20 billion annually is. I don't know, 15, 20 billion. That's what Adidas makes, right? So people are like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
pretty much.
Adidas told you Adidas gonna tank without Kanye. I'm like, do you realize what $15 billion is annually? Do you know what annually means, boys and girls? Every 12 months.
Oh no.
It,
I thought it was
it ain't
Friday. I
it
thought
ain't
we were talking
six.
something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, we're gonna get
we
into
are.
that.
Well, ironically are because Kanye is setting himself up to be fucked again. So yeah,
We
it's
are
still
talking
kind of,
about people getting
it's
fucked,
still,
though. Technically.
exactly. So technically, yeah, it kind of works. It kind of wiggles its way in there. You know what I mean? He's got to go
Right.
suck
So
somebody's dick. So yeah,
right. So
it works.
even
It works
if,
itself out.
let's say, right, nobody, and here's the thing with people that don't understand money, and I don't know everything there is to know about money, but I know that if I had $1 billion, let's say I just had $1 billion, right? I don't want to lose $1 million. I don't want to lose $1 million. I don't care if I have $1 billion. I don't just want to, hey, you're losing $1 million on this stock. What the fuck? Like, why am I losing $1 million? So they think because Adidas may or may not, because it's not confirmed, may or may not get back in bed with Kanye, it means that Adidas was about to tank. though they make 15 to 20 billion dollars. Now I will say this, not only, which I found quite curious, not only did they take a hit with Kanye, but they also took a hit with Beyonce, the queen of all queens. Nobody's buying her Ivy Park shit over there at Adidas. Nobody's buying it. And I find it weird because of the beehive. Like, if you say I don't like her wig, everybody swarms in to tell you that she's the best thing ever and blah, blah. No one's buying the Ivy Park Adidas shit.
Well, Jenny, come on. That shit been horrible since early 2000s. No, I mean they gave it a new name. They gave it a new name, but obviously didn't fire the designer. You know what I mean? So Beyonce makes terrible fucking clothes. Don't get mad at me. Don't fill up my fucking inbox with your anger and your hatred. You know she makes terrible clothing. You don't buy it, so you prove.
I will say this though. I will say this compared to, because she's tried. You're right. She's tried other clotheslines before. She had Darion, which tanked terribly. That clothes was horrific. Then she did before Ivy Park. There was something. Anyway, she collabed with Ivy Park and Adidas. But some of them outfits was been dope. Like shit I would wear, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's more about Beyonce not connecting in a way regarding fashion with her following, right? Like Rihanna is a billionaire now because of Savage Fenty and her clothes and her makeup. For some reason, Rihanna's fans connect with her more, so they want to wear what she's selling. Beyonce, the worship for her, I think, is a little different, but it has nothing to do with fashion. And I never saw Beyonce as a fashionista. Like 99.9% of the time, like I look at what she's wearing, I'm like, what the fuck is she wearing? But then I remember she was a very sheltered girl, grew up in Texas, and people with swag, they just have different backgrounds, right? Very sheltered pageant princess. So when certain things that she wears, and I'm like, what is this? Like, you're the biggest pop star, you know what I mean, on the planet. Why are you still dressing like this? Right. So I think it's that too also, where she doesn't have that swag where people just want what she has. Kind of like Diddy. Like people want his liquor and his clothes because he's Diddy, because they want to feel like they close to Diddy. But I don't know, for some reason, Beyonce can't sell a t-shirt worth a damn. It's crazy. It tanked. And some of it was nice. Some of it was nice, Teron. I'd wear it to the gym. Some of the color schemes were nice. They were pushing it to all the celebrities. They were sending big trunks to the celebrities, and all the celebrities were like, look, I got Adidas Ivy Park. And no one gave a fuck. No one cared.
Did the celebrities just like hold it up for a photo op?
Absolutely. They would show them getting the trunk delivered. They would open the trunk. They would be like, look, I got my Ivy Park Adidas in it. And then they would take pictures in it. And that's where it ended.
That's where it ended. Okay.
That's where it ended. You don't see them wearing it when paparazzi catches them on the street, getting their Starbucks. I don't see it in the gym I go to. You just don't see Ivy Park. You don't see it.
Nah, you don't. I mean, you caught some celebrities fucking with that Fenty shit though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, on the low and whatever, and being photographed or whatever. But yes, to your point, like
it's weird.
I just thought the clothing. I thought the clothing was ugly.
Have you seen the Adidas stuff?
What? Yes, I have.
Have you seen the Adidas? Okay.
I looked at. I don't know. I don't know if they pulled in the same designer that she had with when she was selling her own shit, her own name. Instead of pairing with Adidas, because it looked like the same. Just what the fuck shit.
It could be.
Line.
It could be. Maybe that was part of the deal where she was like, I want to bring in my own people. Big mistake. But I again, even if the clothes was amazing, I just don't think Beyonce connects with an audience who will buy clothes from her. Now they'll spend $5,000 on that concert ticket, but they don't buy the clothes for some reason. I don't know. No.
See, here's the problem. When you're at that level, damn near everybody's on the payroll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Damn near everybody's on the payroll. So it's kind of hard to get the truth. Like, who's going to say, like, oh, damn, girl, that shit is ugly? I mean, like, who's going to really say that? You know what I mean?
I always say that. I say, like, you can tell when someone, like, we see people grinding, and then you can tell when they're at that tax bracket where nobody's telling them shit. Like, you can tell.
Man. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're in that tax bracket where no one's telling you this isn't it. This isn't gonna work.
And when they start walking around with like a purple mask on the E network and shit like that, you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's like no one's telling you no anymore. Oh, that sucks for you. All right. Thank you for the early super chat, Don Levon. Don Levon says, after slavery ended, there were some slaves that begged their slave master to let them stay on the plantation because they had no money and nowhere to go. Ouch. Ouch. That's a ribcage shot right there. Give me a minute. I need to breathe. Give me a minute. Jesus. Second super chat. Thank you so much, Don Levon. Don Levon says, well, Kanye just went back to the plantation proving Kanye's original point. Slavery was a choice. Oh, shit, I'm out. I'm gone.
I mean, he always be choosing slavery like a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Bars.
He always choose that shit like.
Damn. I was just holding my ribcage on this side. Now I got to turn to this side. Damn, Don Levon, throw in the towel. Throw in the damn towel. He did say that. He said that. His words are coming back to bite him in the greasy, hairy ass. Oh, well.
So I think everybody here pretty much, I mean, I'm sitting there going through and everybody kind of hits what I'm thinking. And I know we don't always think alike or always, but you know, I think what this shows, like you were saying, Adidas is worth a lot of money, and it takes a lot of money to push certain things out there around the world. And they have a lot more they can lose than what Kanye can lose. So, and another thing, what people that are celebrities, with the exception of a few, like you can say Michael Jordan is worldwide famous, and he's been worldwide famous for a long time, and he can still do it. But there are kind of shelf lives, like they'll be like Madonna in the 80s and the 90s could have sold anything. Madonna today, maybe not so much. You know what? There's like a shelf life there. So there's gonna be another Kanye come up that can push shoes. So companies aren't looking at him like they need him, because they know there's somebody else coming that's gonna So I think Kanye is at the disadvantage, and he, you know, as rich as he is,
kiss the ring. Just kiss the ring and get it over with. Okay, kiss the ring. Let people talk bad about you for a couple weeks and get your money. Speaking of Bad Bunny, every time he drops a collab with Adidas, they sell out. I'm trying to get on the mailing list, okay? But they sell out, and they sell out fast. So there's always, like you said, there's always another huge pop star around the corner. And the thing with Kanye, I really do think that they're just going to use him. If they do, if this is confirmed, I think they're just going to use him, and maybe the contract would be like, let's just do this. We'll give you some money and then get rid of him, because he's still a liability, and he's still not just the Jewish people, right? He didn't just rub them the wrong way. There are a lot of people. Oh, ghetto bird. You guys hear that?
Yep.
Yeah. What was that?
Helicopter. Just an airplane. The airplane, it was a helicopter.
Helicopter. We call them ghetto birds in the hood.
Somebody running from the cops. Somebody running from the cops.
You know what's funny? My friends, every time they hear a helicopter, they were like, "They're looking for you, aren't you?" I'm like, "Fuck off." Fuck off.
I mean, that's what it was in the hood. Somebody, they looking for somebody. You know what I mean?
All the time.
Why would a random helicopter go and be in the hood anyway?
I was about to say life flight, but that's not really good either.
And we get the big military ones go overhead, so it like shakes the whole house. They look so amazing, though. They look so amazing. So I guess you'll have to kiss the ring, because again, I mean, you know, I don't know. We shall see. What's up, Chocolate Earth? How are you, darling? You may want to come up for this topic tonight. Are they never in the mood, or just not into you?
And Jen, you know what? I just thought about this, and I really sometimes I think I was like, you know, that's probably what they do. So they need somebody like, you know, the next big Kanye West to come out, and then they need black people to certify him as having the swag, and then they can push that out to all the white people and everybody around the world.
That's how it works. Yep.
That's how it works. Because people like I hear a lot of people saying we're gonna buy. Man, as much as that's a good thing, shop with the black stores. I get that, and you should do that. But that's still a small percentage of what you can be making if you can be,
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway.
Global. The Clue Channel said, "You ain't hood, Jen." I know I'm not. I'm not hood at all. I'm quite innocent of all charges.
You're a reformed gangster.
Ain't no money in being hood, baby.
Right. I'm not hood at all.
I'm
not hood even a little bit. I'm suburban. I'm not hood. I'm suburban. I live in a gated community now.
Right.
I know a lot of
Dated.
hood, I know a lot of hood
They
motherfuckers that asked me for $20 last week. So you know, I mean, you keep being hood, homie.
That's funny. People usually asking me for $20. That's interesting. Okay. But I'm not hood. I'm in the suburbs. I'm in the gated community. I got to put in a little code to get home. Rob Beal says
Different experience.
Kanye still has hundreds of millions. He don't need Adidas. I'm not saying they need him, but come on. Again, people don't understand. Again, people don't understand how money fucking works. If you had $100 and I was offering you 300, right? All you had to your name was 100. Well, I got $100. Okay, well, I can give you 300 more. Do you want it? Or you don't need me?
This is something for people to keep in mind. He may be worth $1 billion on paper. That's not like he's got $1 billion. He very well could have $1 billion in cash. He can lay his hands on that fast.
Liquidate. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more like at those contracts he has, that's where the value comes from. And so that's why it was a big deal when Adidas cut him, because they just wiped out $2 billion of his net worth right there, potentially. So,
and I don't know if Haran, if you remember this, did you watch basketball growing up?
Yes.
And so Patrick Ewing, they asked him, I think they asked him something like, why does he spend so much? He says, we make a lot of money, so we spend a lot of money. And I'm sure he's got hundreds of millions of dollars, but I'm sure he spends a whole lot of money.
That's another thing. That's another thing that I think people, and this is in general, people that aren't in that tax bracket, they're looking at it, with their lens. So they're looking at having hundreds of millions of dollars, paying a regular car note and some Netflix and the water bill and the electricity bill. And they're thinking, wow, imagine having, they're thinking from that lens. But when you are in that tax bracket, you're talking about $1 million cars, $1 million houses, $1 million deals, families that you got to take care of. Like his child support bill is atrocious. Okay.
Let's not even talk
taxes on the real estate. You know what I mean?
Let's not talk about that shit. Let's just talk about how much you're paying in taxes. Fuck that. If you got hundreds of millions of dollars, you're paying millions in taxes. So after you're finished paying millions in taxes, you know what I mean? Go ahead, George.
I was going to say now, I wouldn't, obviously it wouldn't surprise me if he's got good advisors. He probably should hire Trump's advisors because, he doesn't have to pay, or like Ross Perot paid like $6 in taxes. In other words, these people.
I mean, they do. You know what? You do have a point. I don't even want to promote shit like this on here.
Exactly.
But yes, there's people who pay different amounts of money. We'll just say that.
Yeah, but if y'all remember, Michael Jackson got into such financial straits. Remember, he had to unload the Beatles catalog.
All the players get caught. Red Fox, Wesley Snipes.
He went out on tour. He was gonna go out on tour too. That last tour that he was getting ready for, that's because he was
the This Is It tour. This is it. This is it.
And ironically, it was it.
Well, see, that's what we're talking about, though. He made a lot, and we're not even talking about the taxes. And then he had a freaking zoo in his backyard.
Okay, chocolate. All right, Mama, we'll see you on another day. Thank you for the super chat. Don Levon says, Kanye's net worth is $400 million because of his music catalog, which is estimated to be worth $300 million. He doesn't have it in cash. He said it himself. I'm going to go on ahead and believe him.
You know who had real money at one point in time? Mike Tyson. He had he had hundreds of millions of dollars liquid, man.
I tell you, another cat that probably got it is LeBron James, the first billionaire athlete in history. That dude is sharp with all the stuff that he's got lined up. It wouldn't, would not surprise me that dude can lay his hands on at least 100 million just like that.
I mean, if you can look, you got real money if you can produce $50 to $100 million liquid, not the accumulation of your assets,
Right.
And the valuation and blah, blah, blah. You got some shit coming in fucking summer. No, I'm talking about cold, hard cash. You could just pile up on the fucking table. That's when you have real money, man. Now, yes, Mike had cash. Mike had cash.
But I think that's the lesson.
Cash.
I think that's the lesson in there's such a good lesson in that Kanye situation, but so many people are just plumb dumb and thinking with their ego and their pride. They're stuck on, see, Adidas wants them, because in their head they're thinking about things that have happened in their life, right? Where they did something for somebody and then the person, got rid of them and then they needed them again. They think from a strange lens. That's not how it happens when people have billions of dollars, right? It's all business. There's no feelings in it. But the lesson, in my opinion, the bigger lesson in this is the difference between liquid and cash. Because remember, Kanye was going show to show to show, you ain't got more money than me. Why should I listen to you? You ain't got more money than me. I'm a billionaire. And then there was a point where he was saying he was worth $5 billion. Remember that? That went viral. Okay.
Rod, I need you to understand something, brother. He just said he don't need to have it in cash. That would be stupid. It would be invested making more money. Okay, Rod, let me explain something to you. Having something in cash and not in cash literally is the difference between being rich and wealthy. Now, I need you to sit with that for a second, sir. Because trust me when I tell you, if you have $100 million in cash, as opposed to a guy who just has $100 million in valuation, with a couple of assets and a couple of Picassos and shit like that, trust me, you have more money than that guy. Because he has to liquidate his shit if he gets into any kind of trouble. You don't. Because you have that shit on hand.
Right. The JR, watch your language in the chat, okay? Watch your language. I understand you see maybe your mama, your baby's mama, your sisters, your nieces a certain type of way. Watch your language in my chat when you address women. Okay, darling? All right. It's Friday. Let's have a good night. This is important. Don Levon says, if Kanye had hundreds of millions in cash, his Donda Academy wouldn't be running down in the trash. That's another good point. Kanye was complaining when they banned the kids from the Donda Academy from playing in that game. Remember that thing happened too. Everybody was going after him. He was literally complaining his kids from the academy had nowhere to play ball. Wait a minute now. You're worth $400 million, sir. What do you mean they don't have anywhere to play? Why didn't you immediately go buy another facility the next morning? Why weren't you on the phone with someone saying, hey, we need an arena, a stadium, a place where these kids can play ball? If you're worth $500 million, I would think that's a no-brainer, right? So there were a couple of things that he was complaining about regarding finances that I found strange for someone who's worth, right, billions of dollars, according to him. Because remember, that rumor started. Kanye is now worth $5 billion. And I think that's the biggest lesson. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that, in my opinion, that's the biggest lesson. Like, there's a difference between liquid and cash. But, people are not seeing that. People are still saying, Adidas needs him. I'm like, all right, fine. Okay, Junior. Fine. Okay. All right. Okay.
A number of you need financial advisors, just in case you run into you run into a lot of money.
The JR, that's cool. That's cute. I'm just saying, if you wouldn't call your mother a bitch, like when you say bitches marry for whatever, maybe your mother's a bitch who married your father because he made her financially stable. That's my point. So like, if you wouldn't want someone to address your mother as the bitch who married a man to keep her financially stable, then don't address other women like that in my chat. It's really very simple. Just picture addressing your mother the way you talk about other women. Okay, that's all. It's so simple here. Like, it really is 1 + 1 = 2. If your mama isn't a bitch who married your father to keep her financially stable, then nobody else is. That's okay. Can we all just get along on this Friday night? Thank you. All right, John Lee is in here caping for Kanye. Adidas does need him. Doesn't matter. They make $20 billion a year. Adidas needs Kanye. They need him. What are you talking about? How else is it gonna make that $20 billion annually? Fuck shit.
I would tell John to go read the 8Qs and 10Ks from the Security Exchange Commission on Adidas. And inside those financial statements that are there, they put notes about the nature of their company and what's going on and all that sort of stuff. If you don't see anything about Kanye being a revenue contingency problem or something like that, I wouldn't. I'm kind of with Jen on that one. So yeah, just that's another. If you do see that, if they go into, if they file it with the Securities Exchange Commission, you can go look it up. They have all kinds of, they post these filings and stuff. When you have board of directors or like the CEO makes a stock trade, they have to file those things. This is kind of like part of the information, like stock traders and stuff up there on Wall Street.
Right.
They read that stuff.
Oh my God, Rob, you think Buffett doesn't have $100 million cash?
So I will say this. We can wrap it up in a nice little bow. I've been buying Adidas since I was a kid. I'm always going to buy Adidas. I love Adidas. Thanks to Run DMC, not to Kanye.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, I got the classic shell toes. I didn't like Kanye's clothes, but maybe it wasn't for me. I think his sneakers were hideous. They look like socks with laces. I didn't like those hideous sewer boots that he was running around in. I didn't like his broken clothes that he was selling. I didn't like his style at all. Kanye has not put out something that I said, oh, I want to wear that. The sneakers were hideous. The boots, them big plastic spaceman slippers and shoes, them other slippers that look like jail slippers. He just not, me and him are not on the same, I know he calls himself a fashion mogul, not for me. I think if, Kareem from down the block was selling those same exact items, people would laugh him off the block. Like the clothes was horrible. But that's my opinion. And again, there's a lot of stock left. I think they said like 520 million or 250 million. It's one of those numbers. So of course, Adidas could burn it. Adidas could give it away to poor countries for people to wear it. They're deciding like, okay, what are we going to do with all this stock? Let's get this idiot back on here and just let him push out this stock and be done with him.
Right.
It could be that as well. Tax
write-off.
Yeah, we don't know. Chocolate Herb, how are you, dog? Giving us shoulders tonight.
Hi, I'm in the middle of getting beautified. Hello, gentlemen. How you doing? What's up, Jen? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'm closed. I promise.
Okay.
I'm not.
We don't mind.
Girl, that's for my OnlyFans. I mean, anyway.
So, wait. Chocolate Herb. You can't just throw that away. You have an OnlyFans? Tell the children of the block.
No, I wish.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Can I tell you, it's so funny. My friend was like, are you going to get you a fans only? I was like, what's that? You mean OnlyFans? Okay, you're not that old. We're not going to do that.
Fans only.
Yes, I'm here all natural tonight. Let's go. I'm loving the conversation, especially when it comes about money.
Yeah.
Because, understanding economics, especially when it comes from a business standpoint, is not rocket science, but I think a lot of people, like, to the point of everybody, having ready capital, liquid capital, paper capital, and your, the initial, what my overall wealth is, whether it's I own land, I own stock, I have vehicles, some things appreciate, some things depreciate. I mean, you just have this, tumbling of things that you can use to show that, okay, this is my wealth. But Kanye West, no, he need that money. So of course, I'm banking there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes conversations about, how we can make that money. And earlier when it was mentioned about Beyonce's product, that was attached to Adidas as well. So when that started messing up for Kanye, it affected her too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a huge piece to that. And no, I didn't. I think the only thing that I've ever purchased from her line of anything was like some frames for glasses.
See, I didn't even know she had glasses. Okay.
Yeah, she had some. What is it? The House of Dairy on.
Oh yeah, that way back when I had the red and black lumberjack.
Right.
John Lee says, for every person who buys Adidas, there are also those who don't, like me. Who else can sell those Yeezys they have? Can't just get rid of it with hundreds of millions. Only a fool would do that. Yeah, I mean, they may bring them back in to sell them, but it doesn't mean that they're going to sell, right? It doesn't mean they're going to sell. And it doesn't mean that, they're going to give them $1 billion to do it. If it's only 520, it doesn't, I mean, they may need them to push it. They may burn it. They may get it. We don't know yet. It hasn't been confirmed. Till then,
a lot of companies are eating millions, billions of dollars,
It's just some shit. It's some clearance house shit they want to get rid of that's sitting in the goddamn.
I'm going to Ross and get me some Yeezys next year. It's on and popping. I'm going to go to Ross and get them.
50% off.
That's where they're going to be.
I'm going to send y'all off for Christmas. You know what I mean? Don't worry. I got y'all. I got y'all this summer.
I hate them shoes, Chocolate. I loathe them shoes.
Me too. When I saw them, I thought I hated Uggs.
Yeah.
But I think I
live in Uggs. I live in Uggs. Oh my God. If I could wear Uggs with a freaking suit. Like for all day shopping, I'm throwing on the Uggs, even in the summertime with the shorts.
But what about the ones where the Uggs look like they leaning over? Like, can we not? If you have flat feet, don't wear Uggs.
I don't think anyone should own shoes till they start leaning over.
Yeah,
any type of shoe.
It's like heels. When your toes are holding on to the front, let's not do that.
Your sound is off, Chocolate. It's bad.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going to do some magic. Hold on.
Yeah, it's bad. Sounds like.
Yeah, here's my favorite shoe right here.
What is that?
It's made by a company called Danner. They make boots for military. It's a hiking boot, but it's like freaking comfortable. I love these boots. Love them.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? I'm so sorry. Is it better?
Is it a little better?
Yeah, it sounds a little bit better.
Is it bad? All right, I'll drop down and come back.
Okay, thank you. Because it's killing my headphones.
Do y'all remember wingtips, the wingtip shoes?
Yep.
I love them. I've got if you saw I've got like a whole rack full of collected wingtip shoes and stuff like that, different colors. I like shell, cordovan leather. I love those shoes. Just love them. When I was in the office, I used to wear them all the time. So
Don Levon said Adidas either gets Kanye to help sell the Yeezy or they will sell them on overstock.com or in Target. And here's the thing. I just really think that it's a situation, and we'll move on. It's a situation where some people do too much. You ever been in a relationship and you like tell people like, all right, stop doing that shit. Don't do that anymore. And you forgive them or they apologize. And it's like, all right. And it's like, hey, this is just how I am. Love me as I am. And then they just do too much. And you're like, I'm done now. And it's to the point where it's like, I'm done. Not like I'm really done. And that person thinks that it was just another time of them acting up, because they're so used to doing that. And then it's like you take them back and they're like, no, this is going to be the same as before. And I'm like, no, that one was it. Like, I'm done. I'm out. And I think with Kanye, he didn't know when to stop the shenanigans. He did them over and over and over again. And I think he was using the Madonna business model where it's like, I'm gonna be as outrageous as possible just to stay in the media and in the news. But it's just there's still strategy in that. There's still strategy and PR stunts. And he was just doing whatever. He was throwing shit at the wall and hoping, let's see what sticks. Like the White Lives Matter t-shirt turned off Black people, the Jewish thing turned off white people. He just did, in my opinion, he did too much.
When he talked about the Jews, that was touching the third rail.
Exactly.
And don't forget the Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. It was just over and over again doing things that were really foul.
My favorite Kanye moment was after Hurricane Katrina, when Mike Myers looked as uncomfortable as he could ever look. I was like, every time I look at that, it is hilarious because he tries to stay in. Okay, he's done. Let me read my part.
He's like, what are we doing? What's next? Somebody give me a cue card, something.
Just a comedian like Mike Myers, man. When you got him thrown off, it's pretty funny.
Right. But listen, I still love some of the songs. But yeah, I wasn't his customer anyway. I would never buy any Yeezy anything. And we'll wrap Kanye on this comment. Kanye says, "Is be sorry, boss. I'll be sorry. I'll be sorry, boss. I'll be good this time." Yeah, we'll wrap on that. Did you guys hear about the high school student in Florida that beat the assistant teacher down? She got knocked out. Did you hear about that? Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out of Florida. I don't know.
Always. You know, the story starts Florida man.
Well,
Florida man.
Right. I might miss that.
Yeah, leave it to Florida. You know, we
That's
can
funny.
recollections. We can do all kinds of stuff. You know, so all kinds of things go down in this state. But I will say this for people.
Where in Florida are you?
What's that? Oh, I'm in the north. I'm in Jacksonville, northeast.
So did you hear about this story?
No. I don't really watch TV or anything like that.
Oh, good for you. Oh, yeah. It must be so peaceful.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's where that southernish drawl is coming from. I dated a girl in Jacksonville many moons ago.
Jacksonville.
She had that kind of southern drawl in her voice.
Yeah, I used to try to cover it up and speak a little bit more, and then I felt like, you know what, I got comfortable with myself and just said, you know what, I'm a southern boy. It's obvious. It's going to come out. They're gonna make fun of me. When I went to New York, they called me country boy. You know.
Oh, that's because in New York we must it's like the Native Americans. We must give you another name.
Yeah,
it's a must. We must give you another name.
But then I figured it out. They were giving me that name. I was in with them. They
right.
Kind of accepted.
They probably call you Big Country or something.
Yeah, or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it was real funny, but
I love Southern. It's my favorite accent in the whole wide world. It's just comforting. It's like apple pie. So it's funny because when I used to go to Charlottesville, Virginia, they used to call me New York because I'm from New York. So that's what we do. I like that accent though.
You being an actress, Jen, there's very few people I know that can that are like from the North or not from the Southeast that can pull off a really good Southern accent. There's a few people, I don't know, but have you found any that, it's like, I mean, being here, I listen to it. They either talk like this too much, they drag it out. It's like if I try to do a New York accent, it would.
Right. We could tell. Like if you're from there, you could tell. Like I could pretend to do a Southern accent, but somebody from the South would be like, there's no such thing. I got to hang out with Don Levon since he claims he has one, but I don't know. That's what he claims.
They got tractors and chickens and all that shit, according to him.
What I find interesting in places like he grew, I guess he grew up. I guess George grew up in Jacksonville, but
I did.
My accent has shifted because I lived in California, Michigan. So my accent, and I was in the military. What I used to sound like was a lot different. But you'll find like there's different accents in New Orleans because of the different settlements of Italians and Irish and French and everything. So there's different accents. But what I'm finding in some of the cities, like even where I'm not sure about Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's a pretty big city. But like you go to Atlanta, Atlanta's got a totally different accent than the rest of Georgia, right? Nashville, because these are all metropolitan cities that a lot of people migrated to, and then the accent changes. Like you go 10 miles, you go right outside of Nashville, and it's as southern as you can, but in Nashville, it's more of a you wouldn't even know. I mean, because nobody's really from there. And I just find that interesting. So, you know, I don't know if Jacksonville is one of those towns, although it's big. I don't think a lot of people. Yeah, go ahead.
It is. It has a Navy base here in
yeah.
And so a lot of people do. They like get out of the military, retire. They like the place, and they settle down. So you're right. It's a lot of
transplants. A lot of transplants.
Yeah, it's like I tell people that I'm one of the few people that when I say I'm from Jacksonville, I'm actually from Jacksonville, because people will say, if you ask them where they're from, they'll say, I'm from Jacksonville, but I was originally from the Bronx, or I was from New Orleans, or whatever, you know. And so it's like, it's kind of a running joke here in Jacksonville about how a lot of people are here, you know, there. But I'm going to tell you, Florida ends at Orlando and Tampa. Everything below that is Southern New York, Southern New Jersey. It's like, it's a totally different world, totally different culture, totally different. So,
but Don, I want the Don that has no shoes and drives the tractor. See what I do? What? Take them damn shoes off, get back in that tractor, put the wheat in your mouth, that long wheat, and the cowboy hat. That's what I need in my life. Okay,
chewing off your toenails.
All right, do the pedals with your bare feet. You know what I mean? Wipe your brow, take your hat off, wipe your brow, call me ma'am, and then put your hat back on, and then you know
darling,
what I mean. We in business.
You like when a man calls you darling?
Darling, yeah, darling, ma'am. You know, it's cute. Yeah. Oh my God, he said his accent isn't like Forrest Gump. I will say this though. I want to move on, but God, this one right here, this comment gets me all the time regarding Kanye West. We all know there's one group of people you're not allowed to talk about. You know why that comment is? It's because it's not, in my opinion, that situation with Kanye West was unique. He was waging war on the same people who were signing his checks. I think that's different than, you're not supposed to talk about this group of people. I tell people all the time, let's say Black people were the ones in power in this country. And then, you know what I mean, Eminem has a sneaker deal with your company. And then Eminem starts saying all kinds of stuff about Black people, and they should be slaves, and you know, slavery should come back, and slavery was a choice, and you know, MAGA. What is the Black company going to do? They're going to get rid of Eminem quick, fast. They're going to do the same exact thing that the quote unquote Jewish people did to Kanye.
Yeah, and Adidas is a German company. Okay, so it's definitely in their interest to say, hey, look, we don't want no part of this.
Right.
Yeah, so
I think anybody would do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna dig deeper with that Florida kid.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just add right before, I just want to add that, you know, people that say there's one group you can't talk about, and there are reasons why they're sensitive. They're sensitive to what you say about them, because throughout thousands of years, they are the scapegoat. They were the scapegoat in the Ukraine before the Ukraine was the Ukraine.
Can you hear that?
Oh yeah. That's you. Okay, I didn't know if that was me feeding back or whatever.
Me?
No. I thought you were playing something.
No, I wasn't. It sounded like some lady talking on a radio. I was like, who the hell?
It did sound. I thought that was you. No. So basically,
FBI tapping in. What's up, feds?
They're a little. I'd say they're a little sensitive, because the same talking points are constantly being recycled, whether they're true or not. So they're sensitive.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into that boy some more. But and I say boy, but you know, these high school kids are built like freaking full grown men. Apparently, the teacher's assistant took his Nintendo Switch game. She was walking out confidently, took that game. He was probably playing it in the class, and he bolts out the classroom, knocks her down, and starts beating on her like she stole something. And they had to pull him off of him. And he went back and sat in the class. And cops came, he was arrested. And when he walked by her, still on the floor, he spat on her and said he'd be back to kill her for taking his Nintendo Switch. Now, I don't know why a kid that far gone is in a classroom with regular folks. But I will be looking more into that. I was just like, all right. But we're that's starting to increase, like violence against teachers. And I'm like, I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all
Jim,
do it.
in your research, see if that kid's on any kind of psychotropic drugs.
Probably. I was thinking the
I
same
have a
thing.
theory about, mass shootings, and it's always this kid is always on some kind of drugs, and and all that stuff. Anyway.
Well, let's see if they consider that, because the child is black. And usually when they're black, they don't care about mental illness or what pills he was on. But if he's white, then he's like, the baby was abandoned by his mom.
No, I believe now this was not, I assume, well, I can't even assume that, because somebody probably had a phone that was videotaping it, but videotaping.
Yeah, there's a video of it, but it looks like surveillance thingy.
But I'm just talking about people, are starting to set things up just to put it on, like, well, we talked a little bit about this, where people are showing themselves killing people, live streaming it, you know. I don't know. We'd have to find out more about it, but as far as like whether this person was on any kind of drugs or any kind of psycho, what George said.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because it's not normal behavior.
I think I would have to see the data and see how, because I'm not just going to assume that every person that gets on whatever they're prescribed is going to be beating somebody up.
That's
I went
true.
to a pretty rough school, but I went to a pretty rough school when I was in high school. Ain't nobody beating up teachers though. It just didn't happen back then. But
I mean, it's happening more often now. But a lot of things are happening more often.
At least we're here. But it really is. I wouldn't doubt it is happening more often. We're certainly hearing about it a lot more. And it's getting a lot of attention on the news. I don't know.
He just seemed off, because I think, in the video I saw, it just didn't look like something a rational person would do. And then the way he went back and sat down in the class was weird too. And then when the cops came, he just got up and put his hands behind his back. Like, I was like, usually when you're pumped up and it's just a random thing, like, I'm gonna beat you up right now, you still got that adrenaline. You're like, oh shit. And then you kind of come down like, oh shit, what did I do? But he looked off to me in the video. I could be completely wrong. That boy could be completely healthy and never took a pill in his life.
I could be wrong. Sociopath. You don't know. He could be
I have no
sociopath. So
I'll wait to see what else comes out. Thank you for the super chat, Don Levon. Hey, darling. Don Levon says, what I'm wondering is the truth that Kanye told everyone about the Jews. What did they do with all that newly found Kanye's knowledge, and how did that knowledge improve their morbid life? Here's what I said on Facebook the other day, I promise you. I said, I want to know if anyone reading this and found out that they were the original Jews, what they do with that information. Like, I said that on Facebook the other day, because remember, people were fighting. We're the original Jews. It is us. They're not even the real Jews. And I'm like, so I asked the other day on Facebook. So now that you know that you all were the original Jews, what did you do with that information? I'm just curious. So it's funny. I asked the same thing on Facebook, the exact same thing.
You know, it's funny. My dad told me that when I was 15. And it was presented in a manner that was just a fun fact. And then we proceeded with the rest of our day. Because it's just like, hey, well, son, the blacks are the original Jews. Oh, yeah, no shit, yeah. And then we just continue on our fucking day. I mean, it's like, because it's like,
okay,
what are you going to do with that kind of information? Anyway, it's like, oh, now we have to get the brothers together to storm the castle.
The Jewish castle.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's just like, oh, okay.
Bye, Don. He's heading out to go be a little hoe, I'm sure, because it's Friday night. Thank you for holding me down in the chat.
No, right, homie. Gonna make it happen.
Yeah, so tonight. Right, so tonight's topic, Freaky Friday. Are they never in the mood or just not into you? And I touched on it a little bit earlier, right? Where men complain that women are not in the mood. And then I said, hey, if somebody promised you $1 million at the top of a mountain, you'd run up that mountain every single time, even if you had work the next day, even if you just got your hair done, even if you had to do laundry, you know what I mean? Because the sheets are going to get all sticky and everything. You'd run up that damn mountain. So are they not in the mood? Or are they just not into you? And this could be, first time lovers. This could be marriage. This could be long-term love affairs. This could be booty calls, side chicks, whatever. You know what I mean? Where you're thinking that person is not in the mood, but they're just not into your style of having sex. And what I keep finding every time I read these articles, which is mind-boggling, they're constantly coaching people to be able to talk to their partner about sex, because everyone has reservations, right? About talking to their partner about having sex, which is mind-boggling to me, because sex is the most intimate thing you could do with somebody. They're literally going in your body. Men are literally going in a woman's body. Like, you are in her cavity. It doesn't get any closer than that. You are naked, okay? Every layer, every fold, every stretch mark, every discoloration, touching, okay? You are sweating on each other. You are sharing sweat and bodily fluids and spit, okay? But yet still, you have a hard time saying, I don't like when you eat me that way. Can you do it this way? It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me. But I will pause there before I pull up my little article, if anybody wants to chime in.
Mm. Yeah, what I'd say about it is that what I've learned, and from my own experience, unfortunately, but when she's not consistently not in the mood, she's basically, I've lost that emotional connection with her. And it's kind of like I've heard somebody else say, and it's true, didn't really think about it this way, but she's checked out of the relationship. And basically, when they say a woman loses that, and you can tell me, Jen, from your own experience where this is true, if you are emotionally done with the relationship, you're like, I don't feel nothing for you. It's like, it is over. There's really nothing that dude can do to get you back, short of a miracle happening, and I think that part, that's where she's not into you. That's what I think about that. In terms of like you said about people not wanting to talk about sex in bed and stuff like that, I was thinking about that myself. I don't know why there's this inhibition to talk about it, but you got to talk about it. You got to. Yeah.
I don't. Honestly, right now, these days, I'm not shocked people are uncomfortable about talking about sex. You can't even talk about buying a woman flowers nowadays. You can't even talk about the simple things. Right. Without people, getting combative or thinking that it's simpish or whatever. So people just can't have, seriously, people just can't have a conversation.
But I mean between you and your partner.
Right. Yeah.
I mean between you and your partner, just you and your partner alone in the room. If you don't like something sexually.
That's what I'm saying. You can't even get down to the nitty gritty of I want you to do X, Y, Z and so on and so forth, because there's just this shroud of not talking about these things, or even doing subtle things in a relationship and shit like that. Like some girls, they really, really do require foreplay. Some girls don't, things like that. Just the basics. You can't have this kind of discussions, and men don't get with each other. Like women get with each other in circles and talk about sex. They fellas. Women do shit like teach other women how to suck dick. They'll go get a dildo and they'll demonstrate in front of their friends how to suck a dick.
For sure.
They do shit like that.
Vagina saying, "This is how you do it, boys."
Yeah. We don't do stuff like that.
You guys don't do that.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. You know what I mean? we don't talk about sex. Men don't talk about sex with each other. We don't compare notes. You know what I mean? The most we'll just say like, you know what I mean, and we'll just behave like we got the biggest dick in the room. But black guys do that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? We don't have conversations about sex like women do.
Yeah, it's more like when you're younger, it's more bravado. Yeah, I was the man. I got that. I tapped that ass. I did.
Okay.
Right.
But not in detail. Not in. I did this with my. See, women are very detailed. I could tell you very late night conversations that me and the girls had in the diner in New York City, and it was graphic. Like if there was, a celery or a carrot on the table, we would be like, "Well, how do you do it? And how do you do it?" And then we would make fun of the girl that didn't do it right. And it's like, who likes that? What do you do? Whether we used a straw, we would be like, "Why are you putting your lips like that? They don't like that. What are you doing?" We get that detailed. Women get that detail. So men are just like, I conquered pussy and that's it. You guys aren't like.
And that's pretty much it. And then we behave that way. And then outside of that, on the other side of town, the woman that we slutted out, she's either confirming our story or she's saying that motherfucker wasn't shit. You know what I mean? It's either one of those two things. And that's
BDR, GDR, BDR, GDR.
That's pretty much, what it is. But men, we don't have these discussions. And I think me amongst my brothers, we do talk about maintaining our testosterone levels. Mm-hmm. We do talk about that shit. We talk about, staying in shape. Yeah, we do talk about.
You're right about that, Haran.
Yeah, right. Especially older guys. When you're younger and you're bravado and all that shit is unnecessary. But older guys, we do talk about staying in shape. We do talk about, getting certain supplements that, works for you sexually and make sure that your dick works. Because as we get older as men, the main thing that we want to do is make sure our dick continues to work.
Right. You got to be able
to
raise
we want to make sure that we're in shape in order to, perform. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
you guys need to talk more.
Well, that's the thing. So,
we don't.
What I definitely realized, especially growing up where George and I grew up, it is very much not talked about.
Yeah.
I learned, as you mentioned this before, I learned real fast when I went out to California that people are different in different places, because the girlfriend I was with, mom, I've mentioned this before, and sister sitting right there, and they're talking about queefing and all these, and I'm just like, holy shit. And I'm laughing my ass off, but I'm also thinking I would never do this in front of my parents, because the way I grew up, it was like nobody talked about it. Nobody talked. And compound that with religion putting the guilt on you.
Yeah.
You just don't talk about it.
Right.
And so really, and not to mention that, I could see, Jen, that a bunch of women getting together and talking about how you do things and all that. Women, women have it easy, man, because really guys don't know what they're doing, because every woman's different. And no young dude's going to act like he knows what he's going to act like he knows what he's doing. But chances are he lasted a couple of minutes and he was gone, But women are difficult when it comes, especially, trying to learn that at a young age. I mean, and when you're not talking about it and nobody's talking to you about it, and, you're looking at books on,
right.
What
reading Playboy for the articles. And
the articles, but even the was it Johnson & Johnson or something like that? Or the one that they wrote, they wrote a book on, and it's really clinical though. Do you know what I'm talking about, George?
No, the only book I know about that really describes positions, it's like thousands of years old. It's the Kama Sutra from India. It talks about the different types of positions and all that. But yeah, you're dead on about that. No, saying about guys, it's kind of like there's instinct. There's just some things you don't have to be taught, right? And
Masters and Johnson, that's the one I was thinking about. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Chocolate, I dropped the link if you want to come back up. Hopefully your sound is better, because you was killing my eardrums. what I was gonna say, oh yeah, back to what you were saying. No, saying absolutely. Religion has, again, it's like humans are set up for failure.
Yeah.
Because men are raised a certain way and women are raised a certain way. Then you insert shaming and you insert religion, and now these two people have to coexist together with all that shit you put in their heads. I heard someone say today, "Hey, Chocolate, welcome back. Let me see. Can we hear you? Testing, 1, 2.
Hello.
That's much better. It's a much better signal.
Okay, that's better. Yay. I wanted to say, Haram, before you jump in, don't lose your thought. Just today, I promise you, just today, I was scrolling YouTube and I heard a gentleman say regarding if he ever got married, he doesn't want his wife to ever put his dick in her mouth because that's what whores do. And if she ever did, these were his words. I just heard this today, a couple hours ago. If she ever did, and he saw her enjoying it, it would turn him off.
Wow.
Because that's a whore's job.
Wow.
No lie. And I was like,
so wait
okay.
a minute. So wait a minute. Hold a second. He wants to look down and see his woman not enjoying sucking his dick. I'm just a little confused.
He literally said, right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this supposed to, like, and the fact that she's just repulsed by it, that's going to be like, oh yeah, that's it. Like, what? I don't really understand how that works.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
As was I. I was like, wow, this is different.
I need to update my resume then. I guess I'm in a different line of work. I didn't know that. So long ago.
The whore Madonna, like our friend Dom talks about.
So did he say anything? Oh, wait 1 second, Chocolate. Did he say anything in regards to like, okay, did he say anything in regards to like, I don't know, if she moans and behaves as if she's enjoying being, penetrated, is that also whorish?
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't speak on that. He specifically said, and at first I was like, is he saying what I think he's saying? But he was literally like, she shouldn't be putting me in her mouth. And if she did, and I saw her enjoying it too much, I'd be turned off because that's what whores do. That's what whores are for. They enjoy, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is why, because you guys keep perpetuating this shit about women. This is why you end up in a marriage and then you got to cheat, or she feels like, oh, he looks at women a certain way. And Haran, you spoke about this before, the freer a woman feels with you and the more she trusts you, right, the more she's going to give you sexually. But you already have a woman coming in with reservations. We already have reservations. Not me at 49. But when you're growing 20s, 30s. No, but in your 20s. And the sad thing is that some people are not going to like that I say this, but the sad thing is that when women, usually we got to hit our 40s to say, fuck everything you told me we're not supposed to do. But then by 40s, she doesn't look like she used to. And she doesn't move like she used to. So she has this whole newfound, I'm fucking whenever, however, whoever the fuck, and I don't care what you call me, fuck off my life. I'm going to go in that box by myself when life is over for me. Forget it. But then it's like, your knees are giving out. You're a little heavier. You're not as cute. And that's why I'm like, it's a fucking travesty. It's wrong. It is wrong, man.
I am going to bite my lips off because let me think. I have a brand to protect. So I'm gonna try to say this really nice.
Speak on it. However you can.
No, I'm gonna keep it 100. I was very thankful that my mother and I had the conversation of sex very early on. I had to have that conversation because I had a body like a grown woman at the age of 11, 12 years old. And I had older men hitting on me already. So my introduction into what men were attracted to was very early on. And then what I realized as I got older was that, wait a minute, I like sex though. Like, Why is that wrong? That I like it. I enjoy it. And then when I got into my 30s, child, please, somebody should have called the police. But all I'm saying, but to your point, like when I've had conversations with other women, especially women of color who have come from backgrounds of religion has a lot to do with why we look at sexuality the way we do. Remember, this whole society was set up by Quakers, and they were not on, and I'm not talking about Quakers oats. I'm saying for those who don't know, but that the religious connotation is that a woman really isn't supposed to enjoy having sex. That is supposed to be something that's a duty, and it is supposed to be used to procreate.
Okay, so maybe that's where he was coming from then.
Exactly. Well, I hear a lot of men say that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this real quick, I promise. I hear a lot of men, I've heard that before. Sadly, I've heard that before. I had a former partner of mine go, "You make me nervous." And I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Well, I don't understand why you're so free." And I was like, "Well, what you want me to do? You want me to lay here? You want me to starfish you? Like, what do you want?" So, I mean, you want to whisper? You want to cut all the lights out? Like, what do we want to do? You know? And then I don't have a problem discussing the act in itself, right? You know what I mean? Like, I want to talk about, like, okay, did I do that right? Did you like this? You want me to do something else? Like, what are you into? Because the more you enjoy it, the more I enjoy it. You know what I mean? And excuse me, gentlemen, I don't want to make nobody nervous or blush, but I like to make a man scream. Like, that is a really like high Freaky Friday. I mean, once I understood, and it's funny to me because, like, for me, I learned male anatomy. You know what I'm saying? I took it upon myself to figure out, okay, what's the trigger points? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, men have sensitive points. They also have different things, their erogenous zones, so on and so forth. And some men get intimidated when you can bring them pleasure in a sense of, it's not just you busting one, you actually is over there curling your toes and you want to call your mother. Like, I've had that happen. You know, I've been proposed to after like that moment of clarity. Like, I don't want to ever lose you, but no, this was fun. Have a good night. But no, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, yes, of course, sex is for procreation if that's what you want to do. However, we are human beings and we have other desires and needs. And just like you have a need for intimacy, to be held, to be touched, to be kissed, to be, you know, your back rubbed or your ear nibbled or whatever, it's the same thing. It's not just women that want that. There are a lot of men who want that, but I think what it is that they're afraid to voice it because it has a feminine connotation to it. So I could be wrong. Please enlighten me, because, you know, I've been questioned. Like, where did you learn your skills? Maybe in another life I had a job. Maybe I did. I don't know. But
Chocolate, I've heard that as well. I've heard that as well. Right. I've heard like, why are you so good? Or why? And I'm like, it's fucking art. That's why. It's fucking, right. I'm not gonna get naked if I'm not going to.
I'm seducing you day one. You don't even know it. I'm throwing it on you right now. Like, what is?
I mean,
and it's sad. It's sad that
I've never been with nobody who pushed me to propose afterwards. However, I've asked. You got some bills coming up that you need to get taken care of.
That's better
than a proposal. Wait a minute, that's better.
You did a great job, and I believe all great deeds, wonderful deeds should be rewarded.
I'm an overachiever. I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Keep that ring, honey. Let's see about these bills.
Right. Like, I got some stuff. You want to buy some land with me? Like, I got a couple things on deck. Like, let's go.
Look, that's funny. If you're
but it's
worth
true.
it, we can talk.
But
Sometimes,
well, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
That's
Go
not
ahead. I
true.
was
The
reading the
Bible-
comment.
Glenn said
well,
that's not
here's
true. The Bible
Where?
This is one of
wants
the things I
both
don't.
men
This
and
is one
women
of the
to
things-
enjoy their spouse.
Sir,
This
I
is one
was
of the things
raised
I
a
don't know about.
Baptist. I come from a line of pastors. Please tell me the verse so I could go find it.
Or
Because I ain't
spouses.
never read that.
Isn't
Right.
female orgasm?
Yeah, because
The female orgasm is still something that is questioned in society. Like I recall watching a Manosphere podcast, and they all were in agreement that there was no such thing as a female orgasm. And the gentleman, and you know, let's just to be honest, the gentleman who said such, I can understand him saying that there was no such thing as a female orgasm. I'll just leave it at that.
Wolf
You know what I
boogers,
mean?
boy. They be looking like wolf boogers talking all of that. Yeah, you ain't even.
That's a lie. There's no such thing. I was like, well, you would say that. You know, and,
Well,
you know,
it's sad that people think that to be good at something you'd have to have done it a million times, right?
Right.
Because it's like
that's not
sex
true.
Sex is art, depending on who you are, right? And you just want
we have good artists, right?
Yes.
Out the gate.
Yes.
Out the gate. And
like
I
someone can naturally. We've all heard them. That girl in high school that could sing her ass off, right? Never been to a vocal coach once. She was at the cafeteria singing her ass off. And then you have someone like a Britney Spears who's done it since she was a kid and still sucks. And she has more experience than the girl who's a natural singer. That's how life is with everything. Some people just have a way, right? And I cook the way I fuck. I keep it 100.
Right. With love.
With love. If I'm not gonna cook a good meal for you, if I'm not gonna present it a certain way, I don't even like cooking when I'm pissed off. I don't like cooking when I'm pissed off. Yeah, because I know it's gonna be. No, I don't like doing it. Because it's like if I'm servicing you, whether it's food, whether it's making love, I'm all in, right? But men get intimidated and they're like, oh, she must have been with 500 dudes to be this good.
No, or they think they trying to. I had my ex tell me I was trying to run for president. He used to say I was being, he used to call me Obama. And I used to be like, what are you talking about? Like, he worked.
I will say one thing. I want to say one quick thing. If y'all ever seen one of Jen's dishes, like listen, she showed me one of them dishes the other day. I was like, you show that shit to me again, we go together. And you show me that shit again, you gonna have to start cooking for me. And
good food, man.
And she had one plate that looked cell phone worthy. It looked like a cell phone worthy. Like,
presentation.
I cook. Like people be like, no, I cook, and I'm like, no, that's top ramen. I cook.
I cook. Right. Because I'm gonna ask you, Jen. It's about presentation.
Yeah.
It's about is it smelling good?
I even let Haram know. I said, oh, and for the record, it's on a paper plate because I'm not doing dishes tonight.
Hey,
if I was serving you,
that'd be different, right?
It'd be on glass.
Exactly.
And look, listen.
Chilled wine. We about to. I'm gonna change your life.
I cook like a bachelor.
Of course, all you guys do. I'm like, what is
man?
You eat with a stick.
It is quite interesting, like watching, like, you know, when you watch the top chefs or whatever, like, and the presentation and everything, and like the very
it's
best.
Important.
Well, throw it like you know, you see Chef Ramsay throwing a plate across.
Right.
Get out.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's an art. Like Jen is saying, it really is an art, and not everybody. Like when you said people think that because you're good at something, that means you had 1 million people, or the guy thinks 1 million people. And you can reverse that. Just because you might have been with a bunch of people doesn't mean you're good.
Right. Like a lot of the dudes out here, boy, y'all need to stop.
Oh my God. Wait, Chocolate.
Please.
Chocolate. Let's pause right there. Let's pause right there because men have 3, 4, 5 times the partners that we do. Why do they still suck? Why do they still suck in bed?
I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna give you and I'm gonna tell you something. I'll bet every dollar I don't have on this. Again, if you have no desire to learn what your partner wants, then you're always gonna suck, and not in a good way. Because it's like I'll say this. In my long-term relationships, these were all different men, but they were still men, right? Things that turned one man on may turn on the other man or may not, right? But because I ask you, I'm having that conversation. We talking about it. You know, some men don't like that. Like, I don't want to talk about sex. I just met you. Listen, time is money, and we can't play. Okay, so I need to know what do you like? Do you have fantasies? Are you into foreplay? Are you into role play? Are you know what I'm saying? Are you an ass dude? Are you up here talking about, let me see your feet for a minute? You know, like, these things need to have a place to have that conversation. And when you don't have that conversation, I can attest that there is a huge difference. When you're younger and dudes are like, oh, I'm a wear you out, girl. Man, I'm about to rock your life.
I'm going to be the best 2-minute miracle you've ever had in your life.
Thank you. But I will say this to you, sir. But can I say this? And yes, you can ask. Hold on real quick. But the one thing I will say is this. You can make a woman have a bomb orgasm in 2 minutes if you know her.
Right.
If you've been doing foreplay all day, if you've been sending messages, if you've been talking shit, if you done walked by and whispered in her ear or sent her a little, hey, I'm thinking about you. I washed the dishes. Yeah, I know you want that. Listen, I love tools, right? Like, I'm a girl that I love drills, and no pun intended. But okay. I love drills.
Like, oh, isn't that rough?
You love your toys.
Oh. Yeah. Got an industrial vagina here. Okay, all right.
I can apply for the Hall, the Rock of Fame. I can apply. But all I'm saying is that, those particular things, those little things that may seem small to you, she may be like, oh my God, he did X, Y, and Z for me today. And it's not roses and flowers and running me a bath with petals all the time. It's just a conversation. Like, I love having a good conversation with a man. Like, I love nerds, like, for real. Like, if you can get my mind bumping and we talking about politics, religion, we bumping I'm over here like, you don't even know, sir. You in trouble. You about to get your mama on the phone. You about to be in trouble. Just let her know.
So I do want to take let's do a Bible break because Glenn Lawrence is preaching to us. I did look up.
Okay.
I look up 1 Corinthians. Is that how you say it? Because I'm not religious. 1 Corinthians. Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 5.
There you go. It says, do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that you may devote yourselves to prayer. But then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What you saying, sir? That does not equal to that God wants you to enjoy, even though you call on him many times, if it's good enough. But the majority of the time, sir, that's not it. We can't do that.
Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that you may devote yourselves to prayer.
Period, right?
But then come together.
Right. Something is going on. She might be pregnant. Right. She might be sick. Many things might be going on. He might be hurt. Because back in the day, they was doing some real extra stuff.
Okay, so does this basically mean don't leave your partner without sex for a long time?
Right. Essentially,
that's all. Not that you have to enjoy it. Like
that's different from God wants us to enjoy and come really hard.
Yeah, that's not.
I was expecting some shit like.
Go ahead, George. Let George talk because
Sorry. Like Lily, I grew up in the church like chocolate. I grew up in the church, and you're right. And here's where I'm I agree with you that the church does a lot to throw cold water on sex. They don't talk about it. It's if they do talk about it, it's talked about. Don't do it, especially when you're a kid. But there's this book in the Bible called the Song of Solomon. And if you read that book, you can't help but know that, in my view, if you believe in God or whatever, it is the closest thing to a pornographic novel that you'll get to. It's very graphic in there. It gives
the Bible is a trip. It is a trip. If you've ever read it, it is a trip. Like, there's violence and everything. Like, they make it seem like it's just a book of love and joy. No, it's a lot of reckless shenanigans going on in there. So, but again, I don't have a problem with that. Like, if that is what, like, to his point, if that's what you're using as your stepping stone, fine. But the truth still remains, how many people can have a comfortable conversation about sex and not get nervous, offended, or in this situation? Yes, to what George, that's his name. I'm sorry, I thought his name was Picante, like Picante. I wasn't gonna call him Picante, but I'm just saying, like, when you have these conversations, I'm sorry, I'm silly. When you have these conversations, it's like I said, a lot of us were raised under that rule of thumb. Even if you didn't go to church, we all have heard, you should wait till you're married, or you should wait till you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You don't want to be promiscuous. You don't want, look here. And I think it is true, when you are a pastor's child, I think it does make you like wild out. I'm not even on front. I mean, every pastor's child I've ever met, including myself, we wow.
Yeah.
And that's because we can see it.
We spoke about that. We spoke about that a little bit yesterday, how your upbringing and your parents, what they're telling you what not to do, makes you curious about
want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, not if you don't give me I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would just say to people, read the Song of Solomon just real quick, go through it. It's not long, but you will be surprised at what's in there about the level of intimacy and all that kind of stuff. It's really you'll never hear anybody in the church preach on it.
They don't talk about it.
So they leave out the good part.
Yeah.
Always. Always.
The other thing I was going to say is that, Chocolate, you're talking a lot. You sound kind of like I had a female mentor. I know this is the first time you and I have talked, but in my 20s, and she was like maybe about my mom's age. And she was one of these women who was very experienced, very worldly. And she told me one thing, and I told everybody here on the panel, and young men listening, and this is true. You always let the woman come first, because if she does, she is much more. It's a lot. It's like that give and take. And is like open to what you want to do, within reason, right? But she was telling me all about stuff like that. But it gave me a lot of confidence when I finally got a girlfriend, right? And and I'm with her, and my girlfriend's telling me, you are like freestyle. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, evidently, she's been with, it's like the same thing, the same type of thing all the time. And I was like, and Jen, when you mentioned cooking and fucking, is that I totally got what you said, because it's like, if you cook, I love to cook too, and I like to use I like to do things by hand. I don't, home cooking, and you're down to detail. And if you're really detailed and you're creative, you're very creative. You're letting your mind,
That's it. You hit it.
And plus, we don't measure. Like, we're raised.
What's a measuring cup?
Right, we don't have those. Like we don't have like, a cup.
It's the Cool Whip bowl.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, I'm catching up. Yeah,
because we learned little. So we learned watching our grandmothers and our mothers, and it's like, they didn't use measuring cups. They're like, we put this amount and this amount, and then we, Then we taste.
It either tastes good, right? Because you're tasting like are you a person that while you're tasting, especially if you're cooking for more than a few people, I taste, and then by the time it's over, I'm full because I'm like, oh, I've tasted everything, so I'm gonna just make a little plate.
Yes, yes. When I'm cooking for a lot of people, I usually do not eat because I'm like, this was a task.
Right.
So I'll eat a little bit. I'll eat a little bit just to know what I'm feeding them, but I can't sit and
it's like really satisfying when like I do a pretty good pot of chili, and I used, we'd have these potlucks at work, and I would bring my chili in, and it was always satisfying to me whenever I went back after it was over with, it was empty. So that's a very gratifying feeling.
Oh, we watch though. When people go back for seconds, we'd be like,
yes. Or I'm staring right at you like, are you eating my food? What it tastes like? I'm watching your face and eyes. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. But yes, I do. Haran, you had a question for me. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I think we cleared up that Bible verse. It didn't sound like what Glenn said it sounded like. But Haran, you had a question.
Yeah, as as women get older, when it comes to being forthcoming and what you want and so on, do you just become more direct the older you get? Because I was dating one of my poly partners at the time. She was about 50 years old. Yeah, she was about 50 years old. And we had a lot of great chemistry. And the first week we met, she was like, yeah, so how big is your dick? And she basically asked me how big my dick was and told me to take a picture to verify. I did, you know what I mean? And we got a great relationship.
How'd you hold it in the picture?
Well, first of all, I made sure that shit was oiled up. I wasn't trying to.
Thank you. Okay, great. Check. How'd you hold it? How'd you hold it in the picture?
Wide angle lens. No.
How did I hold it in the picture?
Yes.
I didn't have to hold it.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're gonna be fully erect and you're gonna do the side shot, that's great. But if you're gonna hold it, I'm an asker. I'm like, send me. I do the same thing. Let me see. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm like
asking for dicks. Okay.
Yes, I'm out here asking for dicks. So I'm like, I hate when guys do. I've gotten this shot, right? Don't hold it like this.
Oh man, right? Like it's a pizza.
Yeah,
like
don't hold it like
Have
this.
You ever seen it?
How are you supposed to hold it?
It looks good when it looks good when you put your hand by the base of it.
Right,
you hold
you're supposed to show me
like a grip, like the way, like telling a woman, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a grip it. Hey?
Like you do on a Saturday night when ain't nobody home with you.
And make sure make sure it's either maybe, I would say baby oil or a lotion. Don't send dry dicks. Too many men send dry dicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sending dry dicks.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. All dry dicks don't matter. I'm just saying.
Right, they do not. Don't send it like this, because then it looks like you're afraid. It looks like you're afraid to hold your own dick. It's like, here I got this.
Would you like some Panera?
You put a nice grip around it. If you're holding it like this,
Panera.
Hold it like a man.
Exactly. That's it.
Hold it like a man.
Don't hold it like you don't. Don't hold it like here it is. Exactly. Hold it like a weapon.
Hold it like a weapon.
Like it owes you money. Hold it like it owe you money, and it's screaming like, oh no, please, somebody. He about to do something to me.
Just give it a, what I mean? Just hold it like, and then take the picture.
Right.
Don't do this. Don't do that.
Well, also too, it shows that your level of confidence.
It's like you can set a video and just like maybe slap it a little, like while you're holding it like a weapon. Like
no, don't
no, because you're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it, and we all gonna be like, nah, that's okay. You know what? I'm washing my cat.
And then we're gonna send it to our friends. Yeah, like, girl, look what he sent me.
We gonna clown you.
Yeah, that's right. That's the other thing I found out, that it's like dudes won't really talk to each other about like their girl, but like you will go tell your friends, you'll go tell your mama, you'll go tell your sister. Everybody knows all about how small or how big your dick is. They know, you know,
So,
it's like
They know.
I did something that was not planned though. I actually was doing something spontaneous, and I sent a picture of my dick to a girl, and her aunt and her friend happened to be in the room while that shit showed up on her phone unannounced.
Oh
And
no!
that shit turned into, well, it actually was. They actually were very happy for her after they saw that shit. You know,
That's
like, hey,
funny.
yeah, girl, go handle that. You know what I mean?
That's
But yeah,
funny.
you know, it's kind of really
Yeah, it's a hit and a miss
but,
with that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Though.
I hate random
Yeah,
dick pics. Like I
don't send me
loathe
unsolicited.
Well,
Here you go, Jen. I got you.
She actually asked.
But no saint wanted to.
yeah.
Well, if you and I are in a relationship, then go ahead. You know what I mean? Dick pic
that's
away.
different.
But men do it usually too soon, too
Oh, no,
randomly.
I don't do random dick pics. I tell young dudes this, man. You never have to send a random dick pic, man.
Haran, can you tell old ones too? Can you tell old ones too?
Yes,
can you
old
tell
ones
old ones too?
Dudes, you
middle
never
age,
old,
yes. Okay, thank you.
It is definitely not an age thing.
No.
For it. So.
Yeah, because I done got them from all ages, and some of them I was like, oh.
No Saint wanted to say something.
Yeah,
no Saint.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just curious. You know, a couple of times I just threw something next to it just to give this, you know, so you know the size. Like maybe you put it next to the cell phone, so you know, you know. I mean, like, Jen,
you don't have to do that.
But Jen, you put it in your hand.
No Saint.
You don't know how
I'm judging you, sir. This is not a crack in the window.
But here's the thing: it doesn't matter, no Saint. We just want to see you hold it like you mean it. We're not measuring like. Trust me, we're not saying, well, is his hand big? Is his hand small? We want to see. And here's the thing. I wanted to say this earlier when George was speaking. And someone else in the chat was like, oh, it's women's fault because you fake orgasms. So here's the thing, right? Because men are clueless. They don't know. They're like, does she like this? Does she like this? This is something that, and it's going to sound simple, but this is something that is a hit every single time. Confidence. Sounds simple. Confidence. But if you walk in there like a cowboy, you ever seen a cowboy get off his horse with his chaps on and walk into that bar and push the swinging doors open? If you can give that in the bedroom, you're already ahead of the game because that shit turns us on. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're excited. If you can get off that horse the same way the cowboy does, you know what I'm saying? And he walks in with them chaps and shit and he's like, it's about to go down. We already like, oh my God.
Right.
In case you don't know, be confident. We love that shit. You know what I mean? Push us around a little bit. You don't have to be a choker and a slapper and a hair puller. Push us around a little bit. Let us feel your strength.
Right. You ain't got
let us feel your strength. Let us feel how big your hands are. You know what I mean? You know what? It really doesn't take much. Subtle things. Subtle things.
Jen is 100% true.
You hear that, fellas? You pick your woman up, you take her to the bedroom, and then you like toss her on the bed.
Okay, Picante, I see where you
George be knowing. George be knowing.
I see you.
My ex-girlfriend still talks about that when I call her and talk about it. And we talk about
she waiting for that invitation.
So let me tell you something that happened to me that I always used to like you're saying, George, like always bring it up when I spoke to this individual was we were at a little, you know what I'm saying, at the Mandarin Hotel.
Oh, you fancy. I see.
Yeah. And you know, when we went in the room, I didn't know what, you know, I knew it was probably gonna go down because it was late. We were well oiled with the drinks. And he walked in and grabbed the chair and like threw it in front of the mirror. And I was like, oh, this is what we doing? I was like, this is what we doing. So it's like and it was just the confidence that he had, like, oh, we about to use this chair. He didn't ask me, are you into chairs?
Right. That weirdo ass questions that make me think you about to do serial stuff. Like what? Do I need
So
to
women will overlook and excuse a lot from a guy if he came in with confidence.
Right.
We'll overlook your body, that you're not perfect body or a perfect height or swaggy. We'll overlook all that. If you come in and make a woman feel like you with a man, and I don't know who you were before me, but you're dealing with a man when you're dealing with me.
Tonight, you calling my name. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
So be confident. If you don't, yeah.
Exactly.
Be confident.
And you tell her I ain't
customer
got
service is key. Customer service is key.
Let's baby.
Watch the mics because we talking over each other. Watch the mics because we talking over each other, please. Because I want to hear everybody, but we talking over each other. I do want to get into some of the things that you could do to prevent bad sex or to fix bad sex. Right? It says here, read your partner's body language before sex. Gauge the amount of physical interaction before sex, hand squeezing, kissing, touching, and take notice of whether they're initiating those behaviors or they're more reserved. Listen. I was hanging out with somebody a couple months back, and I'm celibate, right? But, I'll fool around. But I am celibate for a little while. And I was like, because I like his body, I was like all over him, touching his butt the whole night at the bar, at the restaurant, at the little event we went to. I mean, I was hanging on him on it, whatever. And then after, because he was in town for a little while, and then after, I was like, damn, dude, like, you didn't get a clue? I was all over you, whatever. And he was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, so read your partner's body language and whether or not they're initiating it. But he said he was nervous and he didn't know if I was on your ass the whole fucking night. But, he wasn't, I was like, I don't know.
On the masses, man.
I'm in the booties.
Yes. What's wrong with that? It's nice to have a man with a nice.
No. It wasn't. It ain't that. She just has a penchant for cracking niggas' asses. That's her.
I didn't want to crack his ass. Well,
that's her.
Gotta spice it up every now and then.
Oh shoot! I can't. Jen, you're awesome. That's how I came up. I was like, I know that this conversation is necessary.
This is a good one. Experiment with your damn self. Experiment with yourself.
Yes.
How can you expect someone else to give you what you want if you aren't even sure what you want yourself? Self-exploration. How do you orgasm without anybody in the damn room? What feels good to your boobs? What feels good to your penis? What feels good to you? So then you can translate that to the other person or guide them to it at the very least. So experiment with yourself, all you people that are afraid to touch yourselves.
I love me a super soaker.
I'm sorry.
Say again.
I said I love me a super soaker.
What does that mean to you?
Yes, please enlighten.
A woman that just loves to fuck the bed up the moment you run up in there, man, and like that first 2 or 3 minutes, and it's just splashing and sucking in, and just this, it's just waterworks everywhere. You know what I mean?
I can't. No saint is killing me. I can't.
That is a guaranteed call no payment. That is a guaranteed call no payment.
We need to hear what it pay to rent. What we need to do, Haran. I need to get it up to the rent, not the car note, not the car note, not the cell phone bill. What do we do for the rent?
Right. I'm trying to pay this land off. What's going on?
Oh, okay. Well, the rent. You see, okay, we're talking about the C-suite package. You know what I mean? Haran has different packages. You know what I'm saying? You're referring to the C-suite package. Now the rent getting paid. You know what I mean? That is the incredible head game, the super soaker, and a plate of food to die for. You might get that might get you 4, 5, 6 months of rent. That might get you 4, 5, 6 months of rent. At least half a year. You know what I mean? That's the C-suite package. You know what I mean? The first floor package. I'll get you an Uber ride.
You know what's funny?
I used to call
mine the platinum package. And I used to call mine the platinum package, like when I kick it with my girlfriends and well, how did it go? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, he didn't get the platinum package, but we did a little something. We messed around. The platinum package is paying rent, honey. The platinum package comes with rent payment.
That's stalker
and you don't give.
Right,
and here's the thing: you don't give everybody the platinum package. No, like there's one guy that could be like, "What? She ain't never do that to me." You didn't get the platinum package.
Now, for me personally, I feel the same way. Like I have certain packages, depending on how useful I deem you to be, and how much I really want you to be around. You know what I mean? If I don't really see that much of a future in you, you know what I mean? I'll give you the good stroke, the little left and right. You know what I mean? The a massage maybe. You know what I mean? Enough to, you know what I mean, to conjure repeat business, and you make sure that the word of mouth is kept. But if I got my sights really on you, oh man, that's we bringing out the fireworks. And when I mean the fireworks, it might not just be just sexual. It might be the whole experience. It might be fucking you on the sands of Acapulco. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. It is
or an air balloon. I just thought.
Or just an air balloon, you know what I mean?
So the next one is speak up or take the lead. If something pleased you, if your partner did something to please you, speak up and let them know, I liked when you did X, Y, and Z. And don't hesitate or wait to tell them, hey, I really liked when you did X, Y, and Z. That was really hot. I know I do that. I'd be like, hey, that thing for blah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. I like to tell you right then and there. Let me go and give you a report card right now. We're gonna talk about what's today. I'm talk about it. But no, I do. I like that. I think. I guess because I am a person who I enjoy talking anyway, so why not? Like, that's dirty. Like, I want you to send me a text message the next day, like, man, I was thinking about you doing da da da. I'm like, okay, well, what you? Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
You talk raunchy while getting hit. You talk raunchy while getting hit from the back.
Oh hell yeah! Yes, I did. I had to catch myself.
Fuck yeah, what? Right. That shit's good, man.
That was about to be real aggressive, right? Like, no,
see, I was like,
what you mean?
I was about to get a taste. Like,
this close.
I will say this. I don't mind being aggressive in the bedroom. Like, if I have been with men who wanted to be controlled, I don't have a problem with that. Like, because again, I'm gonna get what I want out of it anyway. Because I'm a. What did you want to say? I don't know if women use that, but I guess I've been called an alpha female. I guess whatever that may mean.
Okay.
But
wait 1 second. Excuse me, George. This is what the pastor said.
No, listen. I'm like, what in the Shakespeare? What in the motherfucking?
What happened? What I missed?
Quills and Shakespeare.
Two fawns, the twin fawns of a gazelle. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Your eyes are the pools of the Heshbon by the gate of Bath. See, this is why this wasn't in the Bible.
This is in the Bible.
Yeah, I missed.
That's in the Bible.
I've never seen that.
That's in the Bible. Yeah.
That's in the Bible. Yay!
Who's speaking? Who's speaking, and who are they speaking to?
It's a conference. King Solomon wrote it, and he's taking it's like the woman's talking about him. He's talking about his woman, and they're using all of these metaphors and stuff to, they get graphic, your breasts are like this and your lips are like this and that and the other. I mean, I went to the city gates and I found the one that I love, and it's about 7-8 chapters long. But if you read it, it's like really.
And this was written how many thousands of years ago?
Right.
2,500, 3,000
right.
years ago.
Yeah. So how did so riddle me this, Batmans? Then how did people get so fucking stick up their ass conservative? So, oh my God, no. How did that happen?
They don't mention this book.
Yeah, they don't mention this book. They completely. I only heard a passage from this one time, and that was at my high school graduate. Y'all remember the baccalaureate service? I don't know if y'all had them, in high school, but we did. It's like they take all the seniors that are graduating, and we go to the church, and the preacher would be talking to us, and he actually went to this passage, and he was talking, and what he was framing it as, he's saying, hey, look, sex is great, but but hang on to it till marriage. This is what's waiting on you. Right. You need to keep yourself in check. That's got the gist of his whole thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh wow, I'm looking at this now. There are verses in here.
I was like, what in the Marquis de Sade?
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up, Jan, because again, during those particular sexual revolutions over history across from Europe to here, we've had sexual revolutions with all parts of the world within it. It's like, for me, I'm a Kama Sutra fan. When I started reading it and understanding it, and what it offers you as your own self-exploration as well as your partner. And yes, it has, just like the Bible, it has parts of it that you like, okay, we're not doing that. However, the overall is again, it all stems. That's why you have now tantric sex and all of the breathing exercises, and because breath has a lot to do with it. Like if you breathe a certain type of way while you are intimate, it will change your life. You were like, I ain't never breathed it like that before ever. But it is what has what has happened again is when you're trying to control something, and to your point, when conservatives started controlling it, because of course this was written and before they were coming to the Americas to change the game. And when they brought that over here and go, oh, I want religious freedom, but however, I'm gonna cut big chunks out that don't matter. That, oh no, you still shouldn't want to be free sexually. They used to call those women witches. If a woman was beguiling or too attractive or had all the men in the town wanting to sniff her hootie ha, it was a problem. And either she was ran out of town if she didn't get married, or she was deemed some kind of witch or some kind of bad person. And so women's sexuality has been being policed since they realized that, oh, okay, you can control me with sex. And that's the thought process where men are concerned a lot of times, is that women can use it because you desire us, you want us, and we don't have to show you desire to make you desire us. You feel me? So
here's the thing. Jen and I were having this conversation. And we were talking about marriage and sex. And it is understood that men control marriage and women control sex. Now we're at a space in time where the main power that most men believe that they have is if women no longer value marriage, then they will have a monopoly on sex.
Of course.
Because men can let me explain that. If most women don't value the idea of marriage or want to get married, then men can't use that over women's heads. If you know what I mean, if that makes sense. They can't use that over women's heads and so on and so forth. So
I agree with you.
So women can basically say, I'm gonna just go and fuck. But if women go on and fuck, and women are the ones who control sex, the men always have to be at the mercy of women. They have no leverage. So in a lot of ways, marriage and religion were used as a tool to gain leverage, and you know what I mean, in sexual power dynamics. So it's a very interesting concept when you kind of hear it, when you kind of really think about why certain things are said and the reason why some men go to other areas of the world in order to make sure that they have the leverage, you know what I mean, and they can use marriage as a tool to say, like, I can take you from this wasteful area or whatever. You just have to marry me, and so on and so forth. So, you know what I mean, it's I try to make that as simple as possible, but I'm understanding what this is really about in a lot of ways. This is just power dynamics.
And that's why I'm saying that women are evolving, and look how badly men are handling that. And I'm talking about this country. Like, they're handling it very badly because more women are saying, I'm going to fuck. I don't care about your ring. I don't want to have your babies. I got my own money. And men are not knowing what to do with that. Hence, they are fleeing the country for women that don't have those ideals, because men don't know what to do with it. And you know, Glenn, respectfully, like throwing a Bible verse at a woman, she don't give a fuck. People don't go to church anymore. That's our mothers and our grandmothers. These women are not running the church every, 3, 4, 5 times. They're not doing it. So the Bible's not going to work anymore. The Bible used to work. The Bible is archaic. Let's keep it 100. Yes, it has amazing stories. So does Shakespeare, right? So did the Marquis de Sade. There's a lot of great literature that started thousands of years ago. But really, you're not going to throw a Bible verse at a woman, the average modern woman today, and scare her into chastity. It's not gonna work. And that's why men have no choice but to fucking leave. Some, not all. I want to go to the go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No. Go ahead. It's okay. If you go into the next topic, it's cool. Because you've already, we've already touched on it before. So you were talking about the passport dudes. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is assess the situation after the sexual experience. And I'm wondering, do any of you assess the situation afterwards, like how it was? You know what I mean? It says here, if after the fact you still feel like the sex was not enjoyable, evaluate why. What could have made it better? Did you feel nervous or stuck in your head? Did your partner seem nervous? Ask if your partner enjoyed it. What did they like? What did they might not have liked? If they're not on the same page, be complimentary, but try suggesting something different for next time. Do any of us assess a sexual situation after, or do we wipe our ass and go make a sandwich?
I do assess the situation. And
say wipes his ass and makes that sandwich.
I assess the situation by, body language and so on and so forth, because I tend to deal with women who they'll just flat out tell you if the shit sucked. I mean, they'll just, I deal with women who just, I tend to deal with women who are fucking barracudas. Like, if they search for the moment of weakness, you know what I mean? In that moment to pounce on you. To actually pounce on you, or so you have to maintain a degree of control and confidence, you know what I mean, and really be on your fucking shit, which is great, because it just keeps you sharp, it keeps you confident in the moment, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the women that I tend to deal with, they'll tell you if that shit sucks, man.
So you said, I want you to elaborate a little bit, because we're always teaching here. But let's say there is no verbal communication. How does a woman look after sex to you, where you're like, yo, she is satisfied, it felt good, she's good? Like, just looking at her, because you said you look at her after sex. What does that look like?
Disheveled and exhausted. It's a clear sign.
Oh, I love it.
George, what's it for you? What's up, Bob? Yes, we're up late. Freaky Friday, we always up late. Fridays and Saturdays, we're up late. During the week, we go up 7 p.m. Eastern, but Fridays and Saturdays, we're late.
Yeah, for me, it's like the afterglow kind of thing. And she's looking at me, like we look into each other's eyes, and she's like on, like totally dialed in, But I've done that, Jen, about, kind of doing the customer service thing. How was my service kind of thing? And I'll be honest, my ego was right there. And I was like, oh man, I'm dreading it. What if she tells me, this? But I went ahead and did it. But I also felt insecure. And that whole thing about your thing about confidence, I was coming to mind, is that when you're talking to your woman like that, if you seem like you're unsure, she's going to say, she's going to say something. Maybe she might pull punches to let you down easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but, it's kind of like, dudes, I was thinking to myself, it's like, no, you got to dive in there and say, even if I get my little ego hurt, I'll go cry, squirt a few tears, and then I'll come back. Yeah. But I'll be honest, I've done that, but yeah, I was like, I was kind of like, oh shit, what if she tells me this? What if, it's that anxiety,
Well, great segue, because the next one is leave your ego at the door. That is literally the next one. It says here, it could be difficult to take it personally. However, how a partner reacts to this conversation can tell you a lot more about them the first time in the bed than the first time in the bedroom can. If even one of you isn't open to talking about it, the problem will not be fixed. So it does say leave your ego at the door, because how are you going to get better if you don't know and you want to please your partner?
Well, that's go ahead, Sean.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The problem that I'm seeing a lot of times, especially in some of these spaces online, is that the culture tends to support the idea of, as long as a man you're satisfied, the woman's satisfaction is not even it's, if we can call it an afterthought, if not even a thought at all. I have not seen any conversations online in these manosphere spaces about sexual health, pleasing a woman, actually doing all these things, because I guess in some context it seems as simpish to say, like, hey, maybe you should really make sure that she has an orgasm. Only simps give orgasms. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is like a long list of simp shit that just really doesn't sit well with me in a manosphere shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like a long list of that shit. And if not making sure that a woman comes is some simp shit, it's like, I don't know.
You're an inconsiderate bastard
shit,
if you just like run
you know what I mean? Like,
then why don't you just beat off?
Right. Well, because they don't want to do that. It's the visual appeal of having a woman beneath you or in front of you or bent over, because again, it goes back to what you said earlier, Jen. There's a lot of men and a lot of women, and I'm speaking to the heterosexual base. There's a lot of them who they don't know how to pleasure themselves alone. In the sense, like, for instance, this is why the adult industry is so big, right? Because it's men knowing that other men need stimulation to get to that particular place. Whether they want to tell the truth or not about it, whereas a woman can get turned on in a different format if they allow themselves to. Let's put it that way. It's kind of like goes back to what you said earlier about the confidence of a man. Even from the conversation, you haven't even seen this dude and you already over here like, oh, I'm gonna have to change these drawers. But I mean, it's like, when it comes to men and their sexual desire or need, it's very transactional. It's not pleasure. It's not intimate. It's more like bam, 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 bust. And that's it. And so why would I be concerned about another person getting their needs met if all I got to do is, I'm always going to come no matter what. But if you ask a lot of men, even though you had an orgasm, was it a good orgasm? Because there is a difference. There's a huge difference.
That's a great point. I got a question for the men. I got a question. How's everybody feeling? We're already at the 2-hour mark. I'm not going to be here all night.
Of course, but great conversation. I'm glad I came up.
Yeah, I can go a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a question for the gentleman, piggybacking off of what Chocolate said. There is a difference. I've heard men say, right, yo, I came so hard, right? But if you're just looking at it visually, it's like, well, when you don't come hard, you squirt, and when you come hard, you squirt. So what to a man is, yo, I came so hard, and so, you know what I mean? What does that entail? Teach the ladies.
It's like your
that are listening.
whole body. You're like delivering. You know, it's kind of hard to describe. At least for me, it's kind of like you're delivering the full payload. You're like it's a real strong ejaculation, and it's like you basically see God at that. What I mean is that point, and I've said this before. It's just as much as it's physical, it's a spiritual thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's when you reach that point where for me, it's like everything goes white, and it's like there it is, and it's like it's incredible, and yeah, it's like when you really come hard, it's like it's amazing.
I see my spirit animals. It's like a high. It's literally like being high. It's so crazy. It's like out of body. All right. Yeah. So what's what would a woman do? Or is it according to how you're feeling that day, what you ate, if you're tired, if you're not tired? Is it all about your body prior to, your mood prior to, or is there something a woman can do to cause that to happen? Or is it about how you're feeling that day, if you're feeling horny or not?
Yeah. And she can help.
It's a combo of things.
Yeah.
It's a combo of things for me, but for me, it could be. For me, it could just be in the moment, man. The moment could just be wild as fuck, and then that point. Because for me, when I reach that moment, like my ass cheeks clench up. You know what I mean? My toes fucking curl. I feel like every goddamn muscle in my body. Yeah, like every muscle in my body just tenses up, and then I just like let go, and then after that, I'm essentially useless. If I ever come that fucking hard after that, I'm pretty much essentially useless after that.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody breaking in, you're not going to make it down the stairs.
Oh no! I mean, I'll point to where the gun is. Maybe I'll point to like this is where the gun's in the bullet.
I would say like, hey, get the bag.
Exactly. It's in the back, babe. It's in the back.
I'd say to women, don't be offended if he wants to go to sleep. That means you did your job. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not offended at all. I like that.
It's like he wants to go to sleep, and it's like or and all that.
Because I'm about to play some GTA and smoke one. Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles for me. I come downstairs get the Fruity Pebbles.
Captain Crunch. What? Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna be downstairs crunching. I'm like, ooh, that was good.
All right. I'm hungry.
I need that sugar. I need that sugar. Yes. I need that sugar.
Yeah. It's
okay, so just in case one day, Jen, I catch you eating cat and punch. You just had you a moment.
That's me. She said that's her Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles or Apple Jacks. Fruity Pebbles or Apple Jacks.
Oh shoot. Yeah. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I got that for you. I got some of that in the big bowl. In the Friday after next bowl. Like for real.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Ruth. This is a good tip too. Listen, chat, if you guys have suggestions, by all means, each one teach one on Freaky Friday. Right. But this is a good tip. He says, I like it when a woman throws something in I haven't seen before, something spontaneous. Yes, sir.
That's it. Creativity. That's it. That's it.
Apple Jacks is underrated.
Apple Jacks is underrated though.
Listen, Apple Jacks or Fruity Pebbles is you know it was on and popping.
Man, I love Crunch Berries. If you bring me a box of Crunch Berries, I already know my hair is getting tied back, so don't ask me none of that. It's over. It's a wrap. I'm turning my phone off. I don't play around. We here for the rounds. Let's go.
Saint, what does it for you?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I was listening. First of all, there is definitely differences, and I think there's some of it is what Haran was saying. There's a mix of things. I've had just like you said, just like, oh, okay, that was okay. It's never bad, but it's the weird one, especially when I was young, man. Mm-hmm. The weirdest thing was, I don't know if anybody on here, I'm sure I'm not unique, but like I've had times more than a few times, and it wasn't even necessarily when I was all that young. I mean, it throughout my life, where when a woman is really getting into me servicing her, whether if I'm going down eating her out or if I'm eating her ass or whatever, where I would have to kind of turn because like my mind was getting so into it. I'm trying to sit there and stuff, and I've actually finished without even having to insert. And I wasn't trying to. I was not even trying to. I was like trying to hold out, but
you naughty boy, no saint.
Uh-oh. He up here like I'm got booty like groceries. I'm like, okay, I see you out here.
Yeah.
No saint in the Whole Foods.
I love it when like wraps her legs around me and like start squeezing. And I'm like,
you're doing your deal. We'll turn you. How can I distract my mind? Baseball or whatever. But it doesn't work.
Oh, my ex used to say cops and old ladies. So he could last longer. He was like cops and old ladies.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's like cops and old ladies. God, that's how he used to laugh.
Isn't that a dance? Is it because if you think about the cops and the old ladies a little bit too long, then the erection might go down. So it's like it's kind of like
I was like, do what you gotta do.
Cops, old ladies,
right. As long as you don't. I don't care if you get a cramp. You better keep it popping. I don't want to hear none of that. You should have stretched before you got here. Like I don't want to hear all that.
That's a good tip as well from Bob Dole. Being sexually open-minded goes a long way. Absolutely.
Yes, Bob. I done got many of bills. Oh, yeah, it is. It is good to be open-minded. Yeah.
What were you saying, Haran?
I agree.
I was going to ask Chocolate if she practices yoga because she said she's into tantric sex. So do you practice yoga?
You know what? Not in the sense of like, it maybe ghetto yoga, like my own form of what I've like kind of thrown together. You're not going.
Are you flexible?
Right. Yes, I am. Flexible? I used to be. I played tennis, basketball. I love to dance.
Athletic. Right.
So it's yes, can I put my foot behind my head? Yes, I can. So it's like, it's just about, That's
impressive.
How, thank you. I really take pride in what I do. Like, I just want to say,
salute.
But it's like, I know for me, like I said, I have no problem saying it. I am a plus size woman and considered in, our standards of beauty. Have I been more slimmer as I was more athletic? Yes. You go back and forth, but the flexibility, that's always been like, I was always like that. And so stretching is such a huge part of any athletics. So it's like, yes, I want to be, you better grab an ankle. Listen, don't bother me if you're not here to work. Like I'm not here for the games, yo. Like,
right. And what are we doing?
Like I don't like that sex. Like it's a waste of time. I get upset and I won't call you again. Like I'm like, nah, bro, we not getting no second chance. There's no do-overs here. We already knew what it was. You already talking to me.
Once you guys get the BDR, there's no coming back. About the confidence thing, I love something Rihanna said. She was like, they asked her one time on the red carpet, like, what do you do on days where you're not feeling, up to par, up to standard or the best? And she was like, pretend. So I say the same thing with guys. If you're not feeling confident or you don't know how to just pretend. We can't tell whether you're pretending to be confident or not. Just pretend. We're already there. So we're all in. We're already there, right? So all you have to do is act confident. Just be confident. Like it goes a long way.
It goes.
We want to know when we're with a man. We want to know we're with a man, and that it really truly does not have. And I know I talk a lot about asses and venom and bodies and tall and 6 feet and feet's of dick but really being confident.
It does not.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like being confident, honestly, truly, no cap, it does not have a weight, a height, a look.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because you could line up my exes, and I swear to God, y'all would think there was something wrong with me. Because it was how they treated me. It was how, where I was in my life. If we got to know each other, have there been guys that have approached me and I'm like, you look like a bag of bacon.
Ladies and gentlemen, based on what these two women just told you, and if you're listening to them instead of listening to Andrew Tate and listening to KS, that's the reason why these girls would go for the Pookies and the Ray Rays, because they're confident. You goofy motherfuckers.
Great point. Great point. Because a Pookie and a Ray Ray, he don't give a fuck what he doesn't care what he doesn't have.
Right.
He doesn't care.
He can't read. He can't do a whole bunch of shit, but he's gonna give you that dick. And those chicks, they fall for that shit and they love that shit, man.
But I do want to say this,
with your master's degree and you're straight back and like I'm a high value. That shit don't shape. That shit don't shape, man.
And this is how you know they lying to the men to gas them up in this space. Because like I said, I have a thing for intellectuals. And usually they're the most sexual people because they're so quiet and they're thinking all the time. So they're like, oh yes, I've been thinking about this for years. You know what I'm saying? Like it has a connotation to it. Like I've dated the athlete, the huge guy, the big dude, muscle 6'4", 300-pound beef, blah blah steak. But I've also
back in his
right. You know what I'm saying? Like I am getting tossed to what George said. Yes, I've been tossed all around. Like I get that part. Right. But I've also dated men who were very sweet and very quiet and sensual and caring and in that way as well. So when I understand, yes, you should be very safe. And I'm going to say that as well. As a side note, which is very important, please be safe. Even if you are going to have multiple partners, you should still be safe. Sexual health is huge. But I will tell you this, being with different types of men, it does give you insight and it allows you, like for me, I'm like a sponge. I'm gonna learn it in and I'm like, oh, really? So I'm just listening. Oh, you like what? Oh, all right. Yes, I'm scheming on you. So don't tell me anything because I'm telling you, I'm running it like a computer. I'm like, oh, so you like what? Oh, Number one thing, my dad taught me this. Let a man talk. Let him talk because he'll tell you anything you want to know, whether it's verbally or non-verbally. And it's always worked for me. Always, because then when he is laying over there passed out looking like we might have to call 911, he waking up like, why? I can't believe you did that to me. I've never had that done in my life. Well, I'm so sorry, sir, but that's what it is. This is what you know what I mean? It's like you've been going to McDonald's the majority of your life, and then finally you go to Ruth Chris. You finally got enough money to go, and you can tip. I mean, come on, stop playing.
I'll say this just to piggyback off that. Many an empire has been brought down because a woman was listening to a man.
Hello.
Say something.
Hello, my
Say
love.
something. Right?
Hello.
So it's absolutely true. We're really good listeners. Our attention to detail is impeccable. And going back on what I said, just you guys know it's no cap. One of the most confident people I was with intimately was, I promise you, he's about. I'll give him 5'6". He was about 5'6".
5'7". I was with a man that was around 5'7".
He was, and I'm 5'3". So you got to understand, we were like eye to eye. I'm being generous with 5'6". He could have been 5'5". But again, we had met at a gig, and the way he just walked in, for someone to be that short, the way he just walked in, like the cowboy thing I told you about, he walked in, he was like, "Hi, I'm such and such. Who are you?" And shook my hand, and I'm like, "Yeah, no." He was like, "How do you know Derek?" Okay, cool. And then he fucking, there was like rows of chairs, right? He could have sat anywhere else. He didn't say anything else to me. He sat behind me in the chair behind me, and I felt his energy. He didn't say anything else. He didn't talk to me. I was like, he's sitting behind me. He could have sat anywhere, but he just exuded this thing. And it's called big dick energy. And big dick energy. You don't need a big dick. And you don't need to be big. You don't need a big dick. And you don't need to be big. But he had big. Yeah, I don't know what his dick looked like at that time, but he had that. He had that energy, and he's always, when he's around people, he always has that energy, right? Even when they're bigger guys in the room, but it's that confident, like he just knows when he says something, he's like one of the first people. And I was really young. I was still in my 20s. So I was going off on everybody. Everybody was getting stabbed and yelled at and fuck you and blah. Like it was just, I was terrible. I was like a Tasmanian Puerto Rican devil out the Bronx. Wasn't nobody going to tell me what to do ever. He's one of the first people that was like, just stop. And I was like,
right. You don't have to do it. You don't have to be that way with me.
Yes. And that's how he was. He was like, just stop. Like, and this guy was like about 5'5". Man, he was about like 5'5", 5'6". And he was just, he had that confidence.
Jen, how tall are you? Did you say you were 5'3"?
I'm 5'3".
I'm 5'8". So I understand why you said that. Because like I said, he was 5'7". He was shorter than me.
Yeah.
So
he was short, but he has that. And I stress to men, it's all about confidence. And I feel sorry for the guys, honestly, that are listening to these manosphere dudes, because it's all the wrong shit. It is all the wrong shit.
Girl, tell me. That's why they got dry. They send in dry dick pics, because it's all the wrong.
Yes, and that's why they're fleeing the country to women who will take whatever, whenever, right, and give them whatever, right? Give them what, because you're not going to tell me they're going to
finesse. It's the biggest finesse. Right. I don't even know, and that's the sad part about it. You are so caught up in trying to compete with other men in conquest that you getting played, sir. Listen, your money go a long way. The dollar goes a long way across the world. Are you serious?
And isn't it funny that because the Pookies and Ray Rays, who never have a fucking pot to piss in a window to throw it out of, isn't it funny they don't spend a fucking dime?
Because they don't
we end up giving them money. Women end up giving them money. So what does that go to show? Confidence.
It don't mean nothing.
Trumps
your confidence.
Money.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Trumps money. Some men, you meet some men and you don't give a damn what his tax bracket is. You just want to experience him. And some men, you meet them and it's like, what do you do for a living? And they could convince you to date them because they have assets and shit like that. And you're like, okay, this seems like it's going to be a good idea because we're hypergamous, right? But some guys don't need a damn dime. They just need to come in, sit down, and be like, just stop.
Right.
Even though he had money, though, that guy had money, and he was well. He's doing very well in life.
Well, you know, we don't often mention that a lot of guys go out there and get money or get jobs and get all these things because they're not confident without it.
Of course. So that's the whole purpose.
They're confident because of their job. They're confident because of their place in the world. Now, if you take all those adornments away from them, and if you're not a confident man without those things, then you're not a man. You're just you're just a guy who basically you're just using your resources to become something that you're truly not.
Who are you buck naked when your car is in the garage?
Exactly. When you are home alone, and this is what I personally go by. How do I feel about myself when I'm by myself? I can't get away from who I am as a person, as a woman, especially in this society. So I had to make a decision that I have to love myself no matter what. And if I'm in love with myself, if I can turn myself on, if I can do those particular things, honey, you listen. You in trouble. Don't come over here unless
Look, I'll tell you.
you ready. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll tell you
That's
this.
all I'm gonna say.
I'll tell you this. I was a bit of a pookie during my artist days. Okay, when I was a broke ass fucking guitar player.
You wasn't a bit. You were a pookie.
You know what I mean? I was a.
He's trying to lighten it.
Anyway.
He's trying to lighten it.
Anyway.
I had to fix my shirt. I don't want you to get
You
in
paid
trouble.
for pussy with songs. I know you. You paid for pussy with songs. Baby, let me play this. And let me tell you, Haran posted a picture. Okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, not a picture, a video of him playing guitar that will make you tingle. So I was like, this is how. I see you.
Yes,
This
musicians. Yes.
Musicians, come on.
Yes. I have dated, yes, they will get you. Like, I'm a saxophone, I'm a trumpet and saxophone queen, and I'll tell you, child, you'll be like, I can't believe my clothes is off. Why am I naked over here? I don't remember how this started. Right, they're gone now. Whew. Okay.
But the point that I was making was that during that time, look, man, I ain't had no fucking money. I didn't really start making any kind of.
You had your songs. That's all.
That was it. You know what I mean? I didn't start making some decent money until I was like 30. Before that, yeah, you know what I mean? I just had a skill. I just had this whatever, and I had a little gift of gab. I can make a motherfucker laugh, But the thing that you realize during that time is that as long as you can make a woman feel good, man. As long as you make a woman feel good.
Make us feel comfortable. I mean? Exactly. If we feel comfortable, if we feel safe with you, it's on. It's on us popping.
And if you can do all those things, she can make a hell of a lot. Because yes, I was fucking with women who were making more money than me, who had jobs, real jobs that I didn't, didn't have. I was just gigging, man. I was just gigging and making.
They didn't care though, right?
They didn't. Not at it.
They didn't care.
I had a couple of them. A couple of them will pick me up for my gigs.
They didn't care.
They didn't give a fuck.
They didn't care, right? Like it doesn't. See, for us, in comparison, the only time women call each other out for being stupid for a man is if he treating you like trash and you're still doing these particular things. But if he's out here doing his hustle, he trying to do his thing, he cool, you feel comfortable and safe with him, we don't care about that stuff. We're doing all those things for ourselves anyway. We're going to have our jobs. We're going to have our money, our places, whatever. We're going to make sure that we're okay. But if we bring you over to the crib, because we're not coming to your house. Like for me, oh yeah. Once my house is finished being built, I'm not leaving. Like you're going to have to come over. Like your house will never be good enough for me. Like that's just not gonna happen. Like you gonna have to come over, bring your stuff.
Could risk, and you can risk if you are with a pookie, you can risk the marshals knocking on his door.
Right.
Got to go.
Or the crackheads being in the walkway while you trying to go to your car early in the morning.
It was never
early in the morning.
Good.
Or the wood paneling. I was at the wood paneling house before. I was like, you got.
No, and look, and women lie. Women, let me tell you, women lie in front. We all got them pookies on our resume.
Hello,
all of us.
Come on.
All of us.
All of us.
And you see women online like, what kind of man you be with? The same one you were with, bitch. You just denying it.
Exactly.
You
Don't
just
sit here and
deny
play
it.
me. Come on, Jen.
Okay.
Let them know. Because I'm like this. Stop pretending like you ain't never did it to a dude with them socks on. The black ones that come in the 6-pack.
I'm leaving.
Okay?
I'm leaving.
Because they the Walmart bag. Come on. Stop playing. With their skinny ankles and them black socks.
I'm done. Chocolate, please don't flash me back to them terrible times.
Listen, you know what I'm talking, girl. You be like, why I do? It was good. But why I do this? Why I do this? Yes, I've been there, done it. I have no shame. Yes, it was a part of my learning experience. Okay. It's like when you first start out going to school, you might go to community college and then you may go to a four-year university. You might even go to a PhD program. But or you might just go get your certificate, okay? So
Wait,
that's
Fighter
fine too.
Complex said, what's wrong with Walmart socks? Nothing is wrong with Walmart
No,
socks.
it's a whole vibe, sir.
I love
whole vibe.
For the record, I love Walmart. I can spend 2-3 hours at Walmart. But like Chocolate said, it's the vibe. Them things they're no longer elastic. They're a little dingy. They're a little dingy.
They looking a little sus. They looking a little sus.
He got the skinny ankles to go along with it.
Like, cut
ankles
them lights
skinny.
off. Cut the lights off because it's like you get up in the morning. I always like to leave,
and then he leaves them on. Like he leaves them on while he's fucking. Like it's a vibe. It's not just the Walmart socks. It's not just the. I like Walmart.
I was being extra as I am, but but it is the truth though that is that bad.
Socks on.
They look like
traction. Do not say traction because I'm gonna tell you something. Traction. It is because y'all's feet is trash and y'all don't do nothing about them crusty, dusty feet. You be all up from your ankle to your neck. But them feet could start a fire if somebody saw them. Stop playing with me.
Listen, the socks look like the same ones that you sent him when he was in jail.
Hello, but wait a minute. Was you at my life? Did you know my ex?
Where's it? Chocolate, I know.
At the halfway house.
Chocolate, I know.
At the halfway house. When I brought up the basket, when I was putting money on them bucks.
Now listen to these women, man.
What?
Listen to these women.
Like,
these women are
underwear.
Men
remember that underwear, and now we're up on socks.
Yes.
Yeah, t-shirts. Yeah.
Yes. So okay. Can I make? I'm gonna make a PSA. If you are a plus size man and you have a gut, please just take it off. Take your t-shirt off. I don't like that.
Again, the confidence thing. If you are a pudgy man and you're like, shit, this is going down. I'm taking this t-shirt off. You're like, oh, okay. But leaving that t-shirt on makes you look worse. Trust me.
It's gonna smell because it's probably a Walmart special. And you up here, you've been in that t-shirt all day. Now you think, oh, I'm about to tear you. No, you're not, because you smell like chicken. I need you to take this shirt off. You smell like chicken and Old Spice. I need you to take it off. Okay? Just take it off. Take the t-shirt off. Do not wear the Budweiser t-shirt and you telling me you about to change my life. You're not. I'm already bothered.
You gonna like this, bothered. Baby.
Right. No.
Lay down.
Even in my hood days, I have standards. Okay, take that off.
Lay down. Lay down. I'm about to rock your world. Lay down.
You come out the bathroom and you up here with the Budweiser and them black ass socks. I'm like, come on, yo, what is this? What is this?
See, guys.
All you need is some bunk beds, bro. Like this is all that's going on.
Can I say something? Can I say something real? Can I say something real?
Of course.
Women get a lot of fucking heat and garbage for not being submissive, for what we won't do, what we wear, what we don't wear. Let me tell you something. Women fucking tolerate the most disgusting, vile, okay?
Oh my God.
Things that men bring. We are adults that see shit stains in your underwear and still love you. We are adults that when you get locked up, we sending shit to prison. We are adults that love you even when you don't have fucking money.
Come on,
but you guys want to stand on a fucking panel on a manosphere and talk about they don't speak life into me. Women don't speak life into me. You motherfucker. I washed your drawers with the shit stains in it. I had to pretend that I didn't see them and then had to take you seriously when you raise your voice and I just seen the shit stains in your drawers, you son of a bitch.
You up here looking like a hot monkey. You act like you live in the zoo with you smelling like 9 orillas. You get home from work and your feet smell like death. And I'm up here in lingerie. I done cooked you breakfast, and you got the nerve to say something crazy. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having flashback. I'm having PTSD.
The bra and my bra and panty match. My bra and panty match.
Right.
I just got the wash
I'm
and
beautiful.
set.
Right. I have all ain't not a peep. I'm whistling.
But you in the chat. You in the chat in the manosphere. Yeah, she don't speak life in the man. Right. I need a woman speak. I need us to submit.
Why don't you submit to washing your ass? How about that?
They over here accepting shitty drawers. They over here accepting all this kind of shit.
And we won't say nothing. Only to our closest will we go, girl. Let me tell you what the fuck.
Is that
Let me tell you a story, Jen. Oh, go ahead, George.
Is that why women will put their boyfriends? I call it on the boyfriend improvement project. You know, have you thought about changing, like getting another shirt, or they just come home with it? They come home with it and they say, "Here you go," and they're like,
"You got it."
Or they just take your shopping.
Or be like, "Babe, you know what? I was thinking about you. Let me get this for you. Let me make sure." Because again, because everybody's so sensitive when they talk about women, child. Ooh. And you know what? I want to go back to what Haran had said earlier about he deals with women who are like barracudas. But let's just be honest, the majority of men can't handle women like that. And so this is why women will fake an orgasm. They'll pretend like everything's okay. Women have gotten beaten up for laughing at men's penises. Like, so we know how sensitive men can be, and they can be some of the, excuse my language, don't get offended, biggest bitches ever walking the earth. Because if we say something and it comes off and you're already insecure, and then you don't know how to cope with me telling you you suck at it, or what you did I didn't like, or something like that, there's a problem. And there's a lot of men, and to your point earlier, Jen, these dudes on the manosphere, they ain't never satisfied no women. Come on, yo. They can't even satisfy themselves. They having mediocre orgasms, okay? If that.
That's not women. We catch a lot of heat in these dusty little spaces, but them men couldn't deal with or put up with half the shit that we do. Like, you know,
stanky balls,
you couldn't.
Smelly dick. You need to go take a shower. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this, right? Hey, babe, let's take a shower. You go first. You go, babe.
And let me tell you something. And men don't understand how meticulous women are, right? Our attention to detail is impeccable. So we see the freaking nose hair sticking out your nose. We see the hairs sticking out your ears. We see that the crusty eyes. We see a lot, right? And it's like you have to mother them. And I'm like, who is raising you, sir? Like your mom.
Can we talk about that hairline? I can't trust you if you lying about your hairline. Like, we can't do that. Like, I didn't understand.
I'm just saying we love them, but but lighten up a fucking little bit in these spaces, because we put up with a lot, and we always try to look cute and beautiful because we know men are visual and blah blah blah. But it's like we put up with a lot. I put up with a lot, not anymore. But I put up with a lot.
Nah, I ain't doing it now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read off a couple of excerpts from a couple of MGTOW guys and a couple of dudes in the manosphere.
Oh, let's hear the stupidity. Let's hear the stupidity.
When a woman doesn't orgasm, she is telling you her vagina is broken.
Okay.
Female orgasms are a Hollywood myth.
Wow.
Women just have some random itch or bowel movement and think they had an orgasm. Wow. Wow. Okay. Female orgasm has no evolutionary function. And yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Ladies,
yeah, they should go their own way. They should go their own way and stay their own way.
Wow.
They should go there. Goodbye.
Excuse me.
Like I knew I studied I was doing some research, you know what I mean, on female anatomy. And one of the things that I found out, you know what I mean, like years ago that I didn't know was that there are a bundle of nerves in the front. There are a different set of nerves in the middle, and then there's a set of nerves in the back. You know what I mean? And there's also something, if you know, correct me if I'm wrong, there's also something referred to as the A spot, where if you correct me if I'm wrong, if you I believe if you have a an orgasm towards the fornix, what happens is that I guess you can call it like an orgasm, like mostly towards the back wall. Is that what you guys have?
You can experience different types. There's different types. There's some like two you guys were talking about earlier.
Go into that? Can you get into that?
Jen, it's up to you. I'm happy to expound.
Okay, so I would say that there are different types of orgasms that the vagina can have, and they all feel different. They all feel different.
Okay.
Now, it takes some skill, but if you can make both of those things go off at the same time, that is when we see the spirit animal and the heavens open up. But you have to like stimulate both at the same time because they are different orgasms. Like the clitoral orgasm is different from the inside G spot and from the lips. It's different orgasms. Like they literally feel different. They feel different. And one is okay. If you could just do the one, you know, that's great too. If you could just do the it still works. It's great. I'm just saying next level platinum package orgasms are the ones that you can stimulate both at the same time and like set them off both at the same time. I don't know if that I'm making sense, but Chocolate, you can take over from there.
If you have made me want to go build you a house, you hit everything at one time. Like that, just being real. Like if I want to show you my carpentry and plumbing skills, then yeah. But to what Jen was saying, yes. Like for instance, this is why some women like grinding. Some women don't like oral because some women can't orgasm from oral sex. Some can, but we're all different in that way. Also, too, some women can come anally. They have, you know, that excitement. They'll come that way as well. So, like, our bodies can be stimulated in so many different ways. Like, there's some women who can have orgasms from breast play, right? Like, if you suck it right, and you own. Your titty game is tight. Boy, I'm telling you, change your life.
A lot of people don't know that you can orgasm with nipple play. But you can.
Another, some women need the stimulation of like talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, say some romantic shit or raunchy shit or whatever she likes. That also is a different type of orgasm. Like our bodies are amazing when it comes to that, if you take the opportunity to find out. And that goes back again to, I would tell any woman that decides, you know, I'm going to share whatever, find out what you like. Try, you know, can I say masturbate? Is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, we done said dick all night.
I know. I don't know certain words, you know, YouTube special. I don't know. But whereas for women, like some women masturbate, like they do pillows because of the corner of the pillow, right? Like that is another one. Some women have orgasms with just you rubbing the tip on the clit. Like there are so many different ways that a woman can physically have these orgasms. And I think men do themselves a disservice because they don't realize that, it would just be just all right shenanigans if you took the time to know your partner.
And And I would say concentrate, try to learn because the go-to is the clitoral orgasm. Like the guys concentrate a lot on where's the G spot. I got to find the G spot. As long as I get the G spot.
Or I'm gonna make you squirt. Calm down,
the internal orgasm is stronger than the clitoral orgasm. So I would say broaden your horizons and try to get to that G spot that's inside of her wall. Inside is way more intense than the clitoral. And that doesn't mean that the clitoral orgasm isn't amazing. I'm just saying that it's even stronger from the inside. It's in her body. So find that out, figure that out inside.
And that's another thing too. Like some women use, like I used to sell, I used to work for one of those adult toy companies, and I used to sell those. So my understanding of like why some women use a bullet, some women use small vibrators to stimulate their clitoris while having vaginal intercourse, because between the two, you know what I'm saying, they're trying to achieve that particular one. Right. You've got the kind that the panties that kind of sit on the clit, so you can turn it up to different levels while you're like, I would tell a person, explore, have fun. It should be fun. It should never be a chore, because if it's a chore and it's transactional, I'm gonna tell you to go. I have stopped mid-sentence, like, hey, stop it. Stop it. Yeah,
all right, so we're gonna close, and are they never in the mood or just not into? Make sure that someone is into, because sometimes the reason they don't want to have sex and they're not in the mood is because they know what you have to offer sexually, they can pass on. So it's not a big deal to miss it, right? But if they know it's going to be amazing, no one's going to turn you down. Your man, your woman's not going to turn you down because they know it's going to be a party. That's why I compared it to, if you had to climb up that mountain to get that $1 million, you going. You're not going to say, I got to work tomorrow. I'm tired. I just got my hair done. I got cramps. You're going to go. You're going to climb that fucking mountain. So you have to be that $1 million at the top of the mountain. Learn, explore, you know what I mean? Ask questions, and don't always ask questions directly, because sometimes that's not sexy, right? Ask during, while she's feeling good, while she's well oiled. You've had maybe some wine, or maybe it's over dinner. A whisper, be like, yeah, I bet you'd like blah, blah, blah. Don't be so direct. Don't make it clinical, because that's not sexy, for the record. So that's my last thought on tonight's Freaky Friday. Thank you so much for being here. This was fun. I would like to hear any parting thoughts before we are out of here. Anybody, or we're gone?
Oh, this was amazing.
I got one thing.
Great.
There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. It's a huge difference between confidence.
It's a thin line, though. There's a thin line.
Very thin line. But it's a huge difference.
I hope people learned, because we gave a lot of information. Stop listening to the manosphere. The answers are not there. I mean, but some people are just born losers and you can't help them. So they choose that, you know, safe space for them, that, you know what I mean? But if you want game, listen to women.
Yeah.
Right. I will say this again, wonderful conversation. I love it when I get the opportunity to talk to you guys. Jen, also great topic. I suggest sexual liberation for all adults, consenting adults, because it's necessary. You know what I mean? Just look into other things. And I would tell men, find out what your sensual needs are. Stop making it so transactional. Find out what you like. If you want her to lick the back of your neck, open your mouth and say so. You have no idea. That gives her the opportunity to feel like, okay, I can trust him because he's willing to be vulnerable with me, as well as here's a way I can please you, and it's not just one-sided. And then you don't get the starfish. So that's
Anyone else? Are we out of here? George, you were saying something?
No, I was just saying that it was really great what I heard tonight and everything.
Yeah.
It a lot of depth to it and everything. I really enjoyed it. Chocolate, it was great meeting you and everything. And so,
yes, you too. Nice to meet you as well. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. I was thinking we needed this podcast when I was about 15 years old.
Right. I agree with you. No, think that's the same here for me.
No,
I'm gonna use it around that time too.
Yeah, this is a great public service to all the younger men out there.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is, y'all, you remember the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus?
Yes.
Yes.
Y'all
Yes.
brought this up earlier, and this was something he brought up in the book. He did all kinds of research. Women tend to value the little things just as much as the big things. And so it's like the little things like cleaning the kitchen and all that. If you're trying to like get your woman in the mood, it's like doing these little things for her and all that. And he was talking about, he's asking the women if that really matters. And they were like, oh yeah. So like a man going out and like spending money on diamond earrings, she'll take them. That's great. But the way he used it is like everything's a point. If you spent $5,000 on the ring, that's 1 point. If you took out the trash, that's 1 point.
So, something as simple as like randomly early in the morning, hey, that Starbucks you like is downstairs on the counter.
Ooh, don't bring me no food, child. Lord have mercy.
What? And then you're like, I'll be neck deep in like what I'm working on and stuff like that. And just to get a simple text, hey, that Starbucks you like is downstairs if you want. Where?
It's just it is.
Those little things like that.
Little things like that. All right, guys, this was a real one. This was another real one. We missed Lily tonight, but she was working. So come back. I'll do another one. Let's do a sexy Saturday.
Right.
And we'll talk about some more stuff if you guys are available. No Saint, the wine is getting to you. You got to get in bed.
I know
it was good to see you.
He's so red. He been killing me all night. He was like, I'm trying.
Well, your wife is gonna, she's gonna be saying, what happened to you? You're gonna be like ready to go.
You're like, get on the bed. Get in there. All right, guys.
You have a great sense of humor.
Yes.
Yeah, I love chocolate.
Yes.
You really do have to come up here more often. And I noticed I'm very observant, and I notice things flow differently when different people are on the panel and not on the panel, and certain people are not on the panel. So I appreciate you, chocolate.
I feel honored. Thank you so much. Ron, yes, I love to laugh. If you can make me laugh, that's another thing too. Okay, last thing, and I'm gone. I love to laugh. If you can make me laugh.
Shut up, Haran.
Does that include like never mind. Exposing myself?
No, say. Go ahead. Ask your question with your red
tickling
cheeks.
people. You tickling people with the feathers, no Saint. Let me find out you a tickler. You a tickler, no Saint?
He up here playing games, boy. You gotta watch no Saint, boy. Yeah, you on a flight. But like I flew you out.
Yeah, you on a flight.
Yeah, but no Saint got to come out in that fireman outfit, or there's no deal. There's no deal.
I missed it because I'm a Dickies fan. Oh my God! If I see a man looking good in his work outfit, the blue one, girl,
Kevin.
It's a wrap. I love it.
Good night. Thank you so much for holding me down in the chat, guys. Y'all are the bestest. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for Sexy Saturday. Let's do it again.
Okay. I will make sure I'm available. All right, y'all. Good night.
Right. Good night. And we're out of here.
I love you all. Class dismissed.
Class dismissed. And this was a class. Woo.
Very good.
All right, guys, if you're still here lurking for any reason, hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Let people know about us. It's always a good time here on the block. Don't forget, if you want to support the show and you are catching the replay, boom, there goes the little scrolly thing on the bottom. Okay. Hit me on my Cash App. I love getting a Cash App when I log off. Okay. Those are the best Cash Apps ever when I get them by surprise. Cash App on the block with Jen as well. And don't forget, I'm available on all social media platforms on the block with Jen, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to join my panel or you have a topic for us that you think would do good here. Thank you so much. Don't forget, Fridays and Saturdays, we're on late. Freaky Friday and Sexy Saturday. The rest of the week is at regular time. And I feel like I'm losing my voice. So I am out of here, guys. Thank you so much. in, we're out.